Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, with my co-host, Ryan Ketchens. And today, we got an anniversary in the building. We got Dr. Jermone Glenn and Erica Glenn in the building on their 19th anniversary. And today, we talking power dynamics and relationships. Let's get to it. Welcome to Hardly Initiated. It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, my co-host, Ryan Ketchens.
I can already tell, man. It's going to be a powerful one right here.
You need to watch too.
I discovered porn when I was a child. My mom.
To get that white man's option out of him. Pursued me, I ran.
The brother I want don't care.
This is dope.
You need to have a threesome. There you go. When you misguided, man.
Happy anniversary, Dr. Jermone Glenn and Erica Glenn. It is a blessing
Facts.
for y'all to be celebrating this here with Hardly Initiated. It's a blessing.
Thank you so much for having us. We love y'all. Man, the invitation came right on a day. What a monumental day. It's our anniversary. We had a world eclipse and we on Hardly Initiated. What?
It's going crazy. Y'all got the triple threat going on right now. Y'all look great, by the way.
That's it. That's it.
So
Y'all been
like,
good? Y'all
oh,
killing
listen.
it.
Yeah.
Y'all
Hey, that's
killing it out here.
the goal, man. It's been a while since we had you on the platform. I think the last time we had you on the platform, Jamal, Mrs. Erica actually kind of snuck in at the end and dropped some real game. So of course, it only makes sense we had to bring her back for it so they can get the full course meal that y'all got for us tonight.
First of all, I'm surprised you letting this man work on your anniversary. Y'all committed to the mission.
You don't. But see, the problem is you don't understand. Most of our anniversaries are not just the two of us. Our children feel like they're a part of it. So usually it's spring break and we're always with them. So we have always kind of shared our anniversary with our children. They feel like it's theirs.
A part
Wow.
of our anniversary.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? We got our own parts and then they
Okay.
got their parts. So,
We handle our part in.
you know, we handle our parts and we handle our parts and we keeps our parts handled. So that way we jump in when we need to. So this life, man, we do life. So we don't segregate our life. It's all things always on purpose, always on mission, always pushing through. So, you know, we make sure that we get it in. This is an opportunity that coincides with who we
Right.
are and what we do. So that's what's up.
That's what fellas, look what a purpose partner look like, all right? She ain't gonna stop you from working. She gonna be sitting right next to you while you work. You see that?
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. As a matter of fact, listen, I got so much I want to talk to y'all about today. We're going to have an absolutely incredible conversation, family. It's going to be incredible, so y'all better stay tuned. All right, go ahead and drop your city in the chat while we're getting warmed up. I want to see where the Initiates is at, and we about to get to the episode sponsor.
Guys, let me tell you about this. Hardly in love dating cards. The thing about it is so many people have issues with bringing that creativity to their date. So I want to give a shout out real quick. I want to give a shout out to one of our very own initiates, Carlos Delano. Pull us up. He is 26 years old, okay? And he says that he is loving the wisdom on the channel. Now, this thing, Carlos actually emailed us. I'm going to read this out to you. He says, a few months ago, I made my interest known to a young lady. The reciprocation is mutual, and we discovered that we're on the same page on a lot of things. So long story short, he says, we decided to grow in our own individual lives while building a friendship before pursuing a relationship prematurely. Shout out to Carlos. Very mature.
Yeah.
Very mature.
Yeah.
Now, he says, I bought these cards impatiently waiting to break them in when I asked her out on our first date. Her and I already have good chemistry and conversations, but I'm looking forward to using these cards to dive a little deeper. Now, this is the thing, guys. I think Carlos, shout out to my boy, because he's really going to take it up a notch on that very first date.
Yeah.
And that's what we tell you guys. Sometimes it's very difficult to have these conversations. And if you just add a little bit of creativity, something very simple, those things can really take it up a notch.
Yeah.
So guys, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, the description, the comments. You can really find this link all over the place, so you can get a chance to get your own very own box. But the great thing is that whether it's first dates, game nights, family nights, It's all love because it always works.
It always works. And look, be careful with them cars, man. Don't dive too deep, player.
Right.
It happens. All right, it happens.
So I'm gonna drop the link right now, and I'm gonna do something very special, guys. I have reactivated this.
Yeah.
Just for today's episode.
What's happening?
And just because it's the anniversary.
It's
We got the
anniversary.
gleams on. It's so lit clip. So much is going on. So I'm activating just for today for this very special episode, the Love 20 for 20% off.
Wow.
Your dating cards. Yeah, it's big.
He didn't even tell me he
I
was
did not
doing
consult Tyshawn on this one, by the way, guys.
20% off. Love 20. Go ahead and get those ASAP. And guys, some more good news because it's gifts today, man. It's an anniversary. We will be having a special giveaway to all my people at the end. So stay put, stay tuned. We got something very special for you guys coming. We ain't going to let the surprise out now, but just hold on and wait. But listen, this amazing couple is about to really help us out here because, guys, let me tell you, man, it's been so long since y'all been on the show. Dr. Jermone, Erica, we had an incredible episode last Wednesday that really shook the internet. We had a debate on the platform.
A debate? What happened?
We had a debate. It was 3 men on the platform. You know, Coach Crump, shout out to Coach Crump, Anton Daniels, and Professor Odie. These are well-respected men in their own right. And, you know, they all have, you know, obviously just as many of us men have different views on life. And we talked about the state of masculinity. And it was a lot of opinions on that conversation. And one thing I consistently heard from the ladies was that they were a bit concerned, particularly from Anton's delivery on his message. They were a bit concerned with what seemed like a bit of a power struggle, or somebody that might overexert or abuse power in a relationship was what consistently the ladies were communicating. And I also hear, though, here's the thing though, I hear the phrase a lot that the ladies want a power couple, but they don't want power to be abused. Okay, so that's like the delicate balance is what I'm really seeing here, and I want to talk to you about it because I would definitely, you know, I look at you two. You guys are literally working, serving, living actively and deeply, knee deep in your mission and your purpose on your anniversary, and you're somebody I would consider a power couple. So I want to talk to you about that. Just even opening that up, so I can make sure we even using the right words and knowing what we're using. Can you please help us understand exactly what a power couple is?
You know, I'm so glad you asked. We got a new book that's coming out. We dropping it today live on Harley Initiated. It's called
Nice.
Exciting, guys.
Yeah, it is. It's called Power Couples, but in it, we talk about our spin on it is that usually when people think about power couples, they look at popular couples that are popular and also working in purpose on some level. You ask people who they think. You throw out the Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. You talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Right.
You know, you think about the people that you see iconically, and few people realize that they actually are a power couple because everybody has power, because every purpose is connected to power, because your gifts are your power. If you learn how to use your gifts, then you learn how to execute your power. And in doing that, as a power couple, what you're doing is you're learning to leverage your unique gifts and your differences for the sake of giving power to you as a unit, right? As a couple. What we find a lot of times is that people are more interested in retention or retaining their power individually or separately in the dynamic of their relationship. And so in doing so, there's a power struggle instead of an exertion of power as a unit and as one.
Okay, so break down again, because I really want to make sure I understand that last part. When is it specifically a power struggle?
It is specifically a power struggle when two people come together and do not leverage and utilize their power for the sake of the dynamic of their relationship. They're fighting for autonomy inside of their relationship, individuality in their relationship, fighting for they got identity issues they haven't sorted out in the context of their relationship. And so the dynamic of power power is, we believe that when two people come together functioning in purpose, you don't just double your efforts, you 10 times your efforts, right? So you 10 times yourself when you collaborate and connect. We're not here to compete. We're here to collaborate, and in that collaboration, you get power, you get results, you get execution, you get all of these things in a fluid way instead of being in the dynamic of a relationship and struggling for power.
And then, and it's also important for couples to take self-inventory.
Yeah.
Take self-inventory. What are my gifts? What are my talents? What are my powers that I have? And then coming together, sitting at the table and say, okay, you do this, I do this, and it's a conversation more than it is coming against each other. And it almost like sometimes in some marriages that some couples are fighting against each other when they're really on the same team. They should be on the same team, and they should be looking at things a different way together, not one on one side and the other on the other side, because there's no unity there, there's no continuity there, so then there's no power.
Right.
Yeah, I'm very curious. So, because the thing is, I do want to get, because I get what you guys are saying, but I want to get into the mindset of the woman who desires to be a power couple. Would you say that it's something very specific that she's looking for when she states that?
When she states what?
That this is what she wants. This is the goal, a power couple. I want to be Beyonce, Jay-Z. I want to be the Obamas. What exactly is she communicating? Like, what's underneath that desire?
Sometimes the way that I look at it, looking at women sometimes, is I think that they want that glamour of it all, but they don't know the workings behind the scene. And let's use Beyonce as an example. We saw Beyonce when she wasn't married, and we see Beyonce now. And Beyonce is a different person married, because she understands who her husband is, what her husband brings, and what she brings to the table too. And understanding that, putting the ring on it and all this other kind of stuff, that independence woman, that is her power. Don't get me wrong, that is her power. But also there's power in understanding when to use your power and when to retract your power, because you know that if you keep bringing your power and he keep bringing his power, you about to have an explosion. So the wisdom in it all, as a woman or even as a man, is to understand when your power is, when you need to push the gas a little bit and when you need to retrieve. It doesn't mean that you just go off the charts and don't contribute at all, but you understand when you need to release and when you need to pull back, because both of y'all going head on at the same time, you getting ready to come into an accident. It's about to be a blowout. But if you both understand that there are some times where I need to coast and there are some times where you need to push, and we communicate that and we get on an equal level, then we can move forward. So I think sometimes women look at the glamorization of the power couple, or even the verbiage of the power couple, but not totally understanding the sacrifice of a power couple, understanding the season of a power couple, understanding your gifts and talents and what you bring and what you need to pull back, and understanding the dynamics of that all. There is a cadence that goes with power to keep it running, to keep it going. I mean, even Michelle Obama, when she talks about her relationship with her husband, how sometimes she was upset with him, but in the end of it all, she understood the bigger picture. Let's say it that way. I think power couples have to remember the bigger picture of it all. What are we going forward to versus these small little things or small little projects? There's a bigger picture. So today we come together, quote unquote, giving up our anniversary or whatever, because there's a bigger picture in all of this. We understand our purpose. We understand why we're together. We understand what the power brings to other couples. We understand that it's necessary to be able to share what we practice every single day, what we discipline ourselves to do every single day. And so if you have a bigger picture, then you're not looking for self to be gratified. You're looking for the relationship to be gratified, because the relationship has a purpose.
I'm happy you actually started it that way,
right?
Because you kind of validated the conversation me and Ryan was having earlier. Because me and Ryan was talking before the show about the whole dynamic of a power couple and when a woman used that, and we both agree that we really don't like when a woman says, I want a power couple.
I think most guys are a little apprehensive about the whole power couple dynamic and what might come with that.
Right. Exactly. It's like what really comes.
Like, what does that mean?
Right. Because when I hear
And I think that's the question. Not to cut you off, but that's the question, because that definition is not the same for everybody.
Right.
Right. So we might have a different definition of what people mean. So I mean, I would be off-putted a little bit if I heard somebody say that that's the goal without defining what that definition is.
Understood.
And see, you know what? I'm happy you said that. At the top of my mind, when I hear a woman say, I want to be a power couple, I hear us both playing. In my mind, I see it's a relationship where we both in the same role.
That's the same thing I think.
Like that. No. That's not a power couple. That's not a power couple. That's a power struggle, right? That's what I'm talking about with a power struggle. That's not a power couple. That's a power struggle. If we both doing the same thing, then one of us aren't needed. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, in the reality, no, we're not doing the same thing, functioning at the same time, because you diminish your power in that way. Michelle Obama is all day long an attorney, brilliant, author, mother, leader, smart, all the things she is. But in the moment when Barack Obama is president, she reasserted herself in a different dynamic of who she is, because she has layers, she has levels. She shifted to allow the role that she needed to play that would be most beneficial for them as a unit in that moment to function. And then when he came out of presidency, you saw her shift into another role. It wasn't a new version of Michelle Obama. It was the Michelle Obama who always was. She just wasn't functioning in that dimension, because that dimension of her would have diminished the depth of their relationship. So she fell back so he could assert himself. She played her role, so she was solid in who she were, her identity, her initiatives. And then when that was over, then you saw Barack fall back. The president, he fell back. He let her go on tour, and he walking around playing basketball or whatever he's doing, because he shifted, and now their children are grown. So then who they needed to be as a mother isn't necessary. These roles that people get caught up into in power struggles don't make you a power couple. A power couple is when you understand your purpose and understand your power, and you know how to assert that, and you know how to retract that for the benefit of the couple. What the unit doing, that's what we doing.
Because marriage is a marathon. It is not a race. It is not a race.
It's a marathon.
It's not a sprint.
Right.
It's a marathon. I'm in this. I'm learning my cadence. I'm gaining my strength. But I'm not going to always be, it's not going to always be like this. And you have to be comfortable, and you have to have enough faith to believe who you are as an individual and what is necessary for the moment. Because what's good for me as an individual in a marriage may not be what's good for us
at the time. Right.
And you have to have wisdom to know that. But also, when you talked about, when a woman says she wants a power couple, what I kind of thought sometimes in talking to people is that sometimes that also means, yes, equal power, but also equal in regards to success, equal in regards to money, equal in regards to a whole lot of stuff that may not be the time for it to quote unquote be equal. So to me, like I said, I feel like it's glamorized.
I think, but remember, our belief and our definition as a foundation is that we are equal in dominion and equal in authority, with different functions and different roles. Equal in dominion, equal in authority, different functions, different roles. So I'm not trying to be you. I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm trying to complement you, and I'm trying to put you in the best position to make sure that who you are is manifested and fulfilled. The problem is most women marry a man or get in a relationship with a man that begins to be, instead of being a catalyst, he begins to be a ceiling. Right. And so there's a difference between being a ceiling and a catalyst. When you're comfortable with who you are, you don't got no competition with your wife. You're not diminished by her excellence or her functioning and who she is. You're not there. If she win, you win. We win. We not on separate teams. But if you marry a man or you marry a woman who do not know who they are and is in a growth process where they're competing with you because they haven't come to an understanding of who they are, and it's a competition. It's who make the most money, who driving at this, who doing this, and we're in competition with each other, then we're going to just cut each other off, because you have to be with somebody that is a catalyst, that's always trying to let you win, get you extend your identity, push your purpose, push your passions, help you to function in the realm that you're supposed to, and don't see that as a threat in any way. So anybody that gets in a relationship that feel like you're threatened and you're still fighting for your voice and fighting for autonomy, you need to remain single until you know who you are and what you can do, and make sure that you connect with somebody that is equally understanding who they are and what they can do.
Because you don't have to dummy yourself down to be in a relationship.
Never.
I like what y'all are saying. I really like, because I really think whether dating, in a relationship, marriage, I think a lot of people are actively involved in this competitiveness. Like, they are really in competition. And I want to bring some context to the audience, because I looked this up. I'm just looking stuff on the internet, okay? Power dynamics, this is the definition. Power dynamics are the degree of influence, and this is related to in relationships. Power dynamics are the degree of influence or control one person can exercise over another person in a relationship. Ooh. Okay. Yo. So I want to get your feedback on that definition, and a follow-up question. Do you think that power dynamics are unavoidable when in relationships? Like, does every relationship have some level of power dynamics involved?
So, all right. So read that definition to me one more time so I can make sure I respond properly to the definition, and then I'll go to the second part of the question. Read the definition one more time. I think our audience want to hear it too.
Power dynamics, the degree of influence one person can exercise over another person in a relationship.
In a relationship, the degree of influence one person can have over the other person in a relationship. Why do I want to, like, I don't, what, where we get this definition from? Like,
this is like from grammar.com.
That is crazy. Like, so I want to be in a relationship so I can have a level of influence or power over another person that diminishes them, not a level of influence. I don't mind a level of influence because that's leadership. So a level of influence that exposes or reveals or strengthens or empowers the person I'm in a relationship with. But to control them, to what degree and what level am I, like, why? That's a power struggle. That's
I like that. So you would change the latter half of that. So it's, I get what you're saying. I like that. I like that switching up. Not control, but to actually get the best out of them.
Exactly. You want to be in a relationship with someone that brings the best out of you, that 10 times you. You want to be in a relationship that when you're with them, you become the best you, the best version of you, the highest version of you. You want to be in a context of a relationship with someone that functions in that way, not that exerts a certain level of power or control over you. That's dominating you when you're supposed to be dominating together. It's not us against us, it's us against it, right? It's us, whatever it is out there that's against that we're warring against, that we're after, that we're trying to achieve, that we're trying to accomplish. It, no matter what comes at us, is never supposed to be us against us. It's always supposed to be us against it. And so we are a power team that creates the power dynamic. And when we become one accord, when we come into touching and agreeing, when we are using our gifts and talents, we 10 times ourselves, and then we're able to exert that kind of energy out into the world. And that's what makes us be a force to be reckoned with.
Okay. Well, the follow-up, right? Whether someone is using the power dynamics for good or they're using it for evil in this case, right? Does power dynamics, is it absolute? If you are in a relationship, intimate or otherwise, is a power dynamic always a part of the relationship?
Well, yes, because in scripture, it talks to us about, and we kingdom people, so we build our basis of beliefs from the Bible. And so in the kingdom, it's language that talks about mutual submission, but mutual submission or submission isn't about dominance. Submission is a willful act that says, I recognize that you're better at this than
I
me,
am.
or you're stronger at this is your sweet spot, this is your strong suit. And so not based on my gender role am I going to exercise power and authority over you so that we lose because of the wisdom of my gender role of me as a, maybe I'm the man, so I'm the leader. And so in being the leader, good leaders have good people around them that make good decisions, that know more than they know, that can do more than they could do, that have strengths that they don't have. And then they empower. A good leader empowers the people that's on their team to do things that they can't do. So mutual submission is not some dominant act. It's some willful act that I give you my power because I recognize that I trust you with it. I know what you can do with it. And by giving you or lending you my power, I actually become stronger because now you accomplish something that I no longer had to. I mean, my wife and I, we got married at a late age. We in our 30s. We grown. We know who we are. We know what we do. We got our own habits. We got our own behaviors. We strong. We firstborns. We the first grandchildren. I mean, listen, don't nobody tell her nothing. Don't nobody tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? She not used to nobody giving her no instruction, giving her nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when we first got together, yes, we had a power dynamic. We had a power dynamic, not because I was trying to exert power over her, but because in her makeup, she just wasn't used to anybody correcting her, challenging her, being a mirror for her, empowering her, holding her accountable. Like these things that could feel, if you're insecure, could become triggers. But if you really think about it, I just took the language of her life and then tried to give it back to her in a way that was empowering and held her accountable. So in the beginning, yes, we're in a power struggle. And then I just told her, I said, yo, I'm tired of fighting with you. Do you believe that I have your best interests at heart? Do you believe that? Because if you really believe that everything I do, I'm trying to do for you and for us, then stop fighting me, because I don't have the energy to fight you. I don't have the energy to keep fighting you. And in a minute, I'm going to give up. I'm not going to be able to be in a struggle with somebody that I'm supposed to be building with. So you said you want my last name. You said you want this ring. You said you want to go in this way. And I'm not done anything but build trust, build confidence, build consistency in my methods of my madness, and I was patient with the fact that I had to gain some credibility. You understand what I'm saying? Like she was in love with me, but I still had to prove myself. I had to make good choices and make good decisions. Not, I'm the man, do what I say. No. I'm the man. I know where we're going. Go with me. And if we win, and when we win, then give me the credit. And by credit, I don't mean a pat on the back. I mean, give me the credibility. So when I ask you to go with me again, then you can know that I make good decisions. I chose you. Right? Because your wife is a reflection of your decision making, right? Your wife is your reflection of your decision making. So if I chose you and you're a good choice, my mama think you're a good choice, my brother think you're a good choice, my daddy think you're a good choice, my family think you're a good choice, then trust that I make good decisions. And every time I make a good decision, that gives me credibility. And the more I win and make good decisions, the more she make good decisions for me, and the more I make good decisions, then that shoulder go down and that submission happens. And we're not in the same struggle. People are in the struggle because they haven't submitted to whoever's the best at the thing that they're trying to accomplish. So yeah, we had that power dynamic in the beginning, but at this point, man, I know I'm not even trying to do the stuff she know how to do. She ain't trying to do the stuff I know how to do. We just show up. And if it ain't right, we look at each other like, what you doing? You slipping? You on your game. Everybody got a job around here. You know what I'm saying? We say that in our family all the time. Everybody got a job around here. You ain't do your job. What you doing? I ain't trying to do what you do. I don't do that. You know what you do. You know what I do. Do we need to have a discussion about about who do what? Because we know what our strengths are. We ain't having no power struggles at this level in the game.
Well, see, I think a lot of people, they don't understand. They don't know their strengths, and they don't know the other person either. Facts. So I want to, because y'all really inspired us today, because we really did some show prep today. Really dug in deep with this one. So I want to talk about some power dynamics. But real quick, I do want to make that announcement, guys, because we promised the initiates that are tuning in live that we was absolutely going to give you guys a free gift today, and we committed to that. So as a very special appreciation to the initiates, the lovely well, not love, the awesome Jermone and the lovely Erica Glenn are going to bless you guys with 3 signed copies of their book, guys. 3 signed copies of Power Couple, okay? The book. And I'm going to drop that in here right now. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. And guys, to register, all you got to do is click the link that's in the chat. It's also in the description and in the comments. And register to win. Winners are announced at the end of every show.
Yes.
So look out for that. And if by chance you are one of the 3 lucky winners, okay, please send over a photo with your gift, picture of you and your gift, because, of course, we want to feature you on the email, on the YouTube, the Instagram, everything. We need those photos because we got a show. We gotta get that credibility, like my man Jermone said. Okay, so I'm gonna drop that link in the chat right now. And this is what I want to do with you guys. And I actually want to start this one off with Erica, because what I did was I went and I just was very curious about power. So I just went and I started doing some prompts. I was like looking on everything, Chat GPT, articles, everything, to try to really figure out what it meant to have power in a relationship. So this is what I got for you guys. Okay. For a man, what is power in relationships? So I've identified, and I've discussed this with Tyshawn, so we came upon agreement with the top 4 was based off our research, okay? So these are 4 things that might influence a man's perception of having power in the relationship. So before you actually respond, Jermone, I actually want to get Erica's feedback on this to make sure that this actually makes sense and to see if she is some kind of level of agreement on this, okay? So this is what I found. These are the top 4. 1 is decision-making authority, okay? Men perceive power as having the primary authority over decision-making within the relationship, such as financial decisions, major life choices, or day-to-day activities, okay? Number 2, financial independence. Financial stability and independence are sources of power for men in relationships. Being the primary breadwinner may contribute to a sense of control in the relationship. Okay. Number 3, respect and authority. This is the perception of respect and authority within the relationship, where one partner is seen as more knowledgeable, competent, or respected than the other partner in certain areas. And number 4, social influence and status. Social status, reputation, and influence within social circles contribute to a sense of power for men, as it may affect perceptions of status, respect, and social standing. So, Erica, those 4, does that sound pretty accurate of where a man would draw his power from or feel power in a relationship?
Some of it, yes. I believe those things contribute to him feeling powerful, especially the respect part of it, especially the part of authority. Because, in a marriage, and we're talking about marriage, in a marriage, the husband is looked upon as being the leader of the family, the leader of the relationship. But if we go back to the beginning of Genesis, when it talks about that both of them have dominion, they both have authority, and that when you get married, there is, I won't say a hierarchy, but it's just kind of the way that things can move swiftly and can move in a way that is beneficial. Because even if you look at it as a corporation, you can't have 2 people running a corporation. A 2-headed monster is crazy, and it's going to be, weird or whatever. So there has to be some kind of a way of authority. So in a marriage, my husband, let me just use our relationship. In our relationship, we will have conversations about various things. And at the end of it, my husband, I will give my opinion. We know our strengths and all that great stuff. And we come together and we make a decision together. Now, in that conversation, I might have a disagreement about something that's with whatever he's trying to say, or I might feel like it needs to go this way. And then we have a conversation about that. And then we walk out of the room. There's one decision that is made. Even though we talked about this, there's one decision that is made. And even if I quote unquote disagree with him, I have made the choice to agree with whatever needs to be done for our family and for our relationship. So that doesn't cause me to feel like I'm not being heard. That doesn't cause me to feel like I don't have, there's no power in what I'm saying or any authority of what I'm saying. I feel and believe that I'm heard. But in order for us to operate in a way of unity, we have to be unified. And that means that someone is not going to, quote unquote, get, I won't say get what they want, but it's not going to totally be what they desire. But we have had a conversation of where we can move things at and where it's a win-win. We don't believe in that one person wins and the other person doesn't win. We come out knowing that we are a win-win situation. And then I think the other part where I think it was kind of like being used as control.
I'm gonna read them back to you. And in fact, what I want to do is I want to make sure that the audience also was able to hear these four, because the four, by the way, these were 4 items that make a man feel power in a relationship. 1 was decision-making authority. 2 was financial independence. 3 was respect and authority. And 4 was social influence and status. And what I want to do, what we're going to do, guys, because I want to get the initiates involved, we're actually going to drop a poll on this as well, because I want you guys to get active in the chat if you're here live, because what we want to know here, and I want to know, before I actually say, how did you craft this question on this chat here, Ryan?
So I actually dropped it in here. So I put in here, how do men feel power most? Or how do men most feel power in a relationship? Decision-making authority, financial independence, respect and authority, or social influence and status.
Now, the reason, these were selected because, by the way, Dr. Jermone, I'm talking to you now as a brother. We've had a lot of men on the platform, men and women actually. And in some way or another, each one of these have come up in conversation. Whether that was, whether it was a level of abuse of this, or it was just absent altogether and it was problems. But either way, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, we have communicated each of these. And I just heard your opinion on power dynamics and how you don't want to necessarily use power against your partner. But as a man, you still want to have power in your relationship and you want to feel like a man. Is it wrong for a man to source his power from any one of these 4 things?
Absolutely not. I 100% actually agree that decision-making, financial independence, respect and authority, and social influence and status all give a man a sense of purpose and a sense of power. 100%. As a leader in your family, as you acquiesce to be the leader, the head of your home, the person that's responsible for vision and direction, etc., decision making in case of an impasse, yes. But in decision making does not always mean that the decision is made that you want or prefer for it to be made. What it does mean is that you get the best decision for the unit to be made, even if that's not your decision, right? Financial independence, I believe as a husband, you're a priest, you're a provider, and you're a protector. So provider is a sense of where you get your power, your strength, your ability to contribute and to provide for your family is 100% a power of where you feel the strength of your power. Respect and authority, men translate love through respect. That's how we translate. That's how we hear love, through the lenses of respect. So 100% when a man feels respected, when he feels admired, when he's spoken to, not diminished in a way, but when he's spoken to with love and with a tone that is not emasculating or downgrading or diminishing in any way, he feels a sense of strength and a sense of power and empowered and social influence. There's a scripture in Proverbs 31 that talks about the virtuous woman, and the whole description of the virtuous woman, it swings back around and say that her husband is known in the gates. He is a man of influence. He is a man of respect. He has influence and power outside of his home. So when he comes home, he does not be treated any less than the king that he is, right? So in that whole circle or that cycle of that dynamic, all 4 of these, in my opinion, is a place that a man finds a sense of source and a sense of power. Now, how he uses that power is the wisdom that's in that man. That's
okay. Okay. So, and I think that's what, the ladies are all afraid of, because I'm even looking at the chat right now, and you can tell the ladies all have had different experiences with men, especially men, because I think as a man, you want a certain degree of power. You want to feel powerful as a man. I think even, keeping it real, your lady wants you to feel power because you show up in the world a certain way when you feel powerful.
Power is sexy.
Power is, first of all, I put that on a shirt, all right? Because it is. But a lot of the ladies have also been on the other side of power when power has been misused or used against them. Exactly. And now they got this weird relationship with power. It's toxic because they turned on by it and scared of it all at the same time.
Definitely.
Exactly.
It's a very toxic relationship. What do you say to a woman that has a relationship like that with or fears associated with a man's power?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked through this when we were writing the book. And one of the things I think that has a lot to do with is kind of where you are in your family dynamic. Like how do you feel about men in power? How was your relationship with men in power?
What's your relationship to power?
Yeah, what your relationship is to power. And you have to be honest about that relationship, be it from a past relationship, be it with your father, be it with a man of authority, that a person that you worked with. All of those dynamics causes triggers within inside of you when you are desiring a relationship, and you bring those things that may not have anything to do with the person that you're in a relationship with, that you don't give them the opportunity to prove themselves because you're making them pay for something. You're making them pay for your father, you're making them pay for your last relationship, and you're making them pay for the person that was over you or whatever. And I think you have to do some real soul searching about what has affected you, because that's real. I'm not diminishing that whatsoever, because when I got in a relationship with my husband, I loved him. I thought he was extremely smart. I thought he had a lot of strength until I had to deal with that strength, until I had to deal with that power. And then I had to ask myself, why am I treating him this way? Why the very thing that I desired is now the very thing that I can't stand? Why am I retreating? Why am I like, why are you talking to me like that? And he's like, what do you mean? What am I talking to you like? I'm not talking to you like nothing. But then I had to get inside of myself and say, where is that coming from? Yeah. So that I can get healed, so I can be in the relationship that I desire to be, because I almost messed up the best thing that could have happened in my life because of my past. So I think we have to make a decision in our lives as women. What do we want? Do we want a relationship that is with this man that's going to be powerful? And with that is going to come some things that's going to rub us a little differently. And when we have to question ourselves and ask us what is triggering us right now, is it him or is it my past? And if it's your past, then you have to get healed from that past, because you're about to make somebody pay for something that they did not do.
It's interesting how people want that power relationship until it's your power, right? And then it's interesting because they're attracted to the powerful person, but then they'll play in the relationship with the person that they're over, right? Ladies particularly can do that. And then when they get tired of making all the decisions and making all the money and planning all the vacations and planning all the dates, it was cute at first, but there comes a point, because a woman wants to fall back. She is not that she can't, she wants to fall back at some time. And when she gets sick and tired of, I gotta plan every trip, I gotta do everything, I gotta cook, I gotta go get the money and cook the meal, I gotta pay all the bills in the house and keep it clean. Like it might be attractive at first because he's giving you something, but at some point you're gonna be like, yo, at some point I want to give away this power. It ain't that I can't pump my gas, it's that I don't want to pump the gas no more. It ain't that I can't go out here and kill it. I've been killing it all my life. And at some point, can I have a man that will not abuse his authority and abuse his power, but empower me by being empowered? And at the end of the day, ladies, don't let your abuse of power make you fall out of love with your need to be in a relationship without a power struggle. Somebody abused their power. I'm sorry they abused your power. I'm sorry somebody hurt you. They was wrong. They didn't know how to use it. But their ability to manage power and use it properly in the context of a relationship is the thing that is most beneficial. Don't check out because somebody didn't know what to do with you or how to handle
Wow.
it.
As a matter of fact, we went ahead and we dropped this poll. I cannot wait to see the way we answered this poll here.
Yeah, the poll. How do men feel power most in a relationship? And this is the thing, guys. It's not just because we got almost 1,000 people in the chat. This question is not just for men to answer. It's for the men and ladies. So give us some perspective, ladies and gentlemen, and let us know, what do you think is the way that men most feel power in a relationship? And let me tell y'all something. So I want to tell a story about when I went to Houston real quick, okay?
Yeah.
So I went to Houston, and one of my homegirls is out there. One of my good homegirls. We've been friends since college, since undergrad, like probably since I was 17 years old. And we go out there, and at this point, Tyshawn knows my friend and everything. So, you know, she stops by the Airbnb and everything. So we wanted to go get something to eat. So she's like, I tell her the place I want to go to. She's like, oh, well, you know, here, listen, I'm already parked in front of you. I'll go ahead and drive. And already I'm like, nah, because I'm like, you know, I don't got a thing against women driving, but if it comes to it, I want to be the person that's driving and doing everything when it comes to decision making.
That's my
Right?
Yeah.
That's my
Okay.
guy.
So I'm like, nah, you know, I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll drive. You know, just move your car real quick. She's like, Ryan, come on. I mean, it's right down the street. Like, I could take. I was like, reluctantly, I agreed. Okay. And then I even felt bad because I'm telling the Lano and Ty to get in the car with me, right? And they kind of looking like, damn, okay, she driving, right? So
I'm behind her, and you know,
Right.
in the back seat behind a woman.
okay, so she's driving. I'm already very uncomfortable, but it's okay. I'm being friendly, and I'm like, hey, so I want to go to this specific coffee shop, and she's like, I said, I'm going to text you the address. We literally ran past it this morning. She's like, oh no, I know that. Come on, you in my city. I know where that coffee shop is at. I'm like, you sure? It look kind of new. She's like, Ryan, come on. I know where the coffee shop is at. I'm like, well, look, I'm going to send you the address just in case. So I just want to make sure we go to the right place. So we driving, and I don't know exactly where it's at, but I know it's not the right way. And I look at her. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure we're not going the right way. Like, can you just make sure you put in the GPS so you can make sure we go to the right place? She's like, listen, chill. I know exactly where we're going. 10 minutes later. All right. The whole time I know we're not going to the place because I just ran past this place and I did not run a 10 minutes car drive. Right. Mm-hmm. So we pull up to the spot and I'm like, yo, this is not the spot. And she just wants to argue me down about, no, this is the exact spot. I go to this coffee shop all the time. I'm like, she's like, no, what you must have been talking about some other place because this is not. And I'm just thinking, yo, you're tripping because I know this is a spot. And it made me even second guess what I'm communicating. So I go and I look it up. So, you know, we get the coffee and everything. And I look at it. I'm like, hey, listen, you know we went to the wrong spot. I was like, so I want you to take us to this spot now, right? She goes, she pulls up. Oh, my God. It's a new one. Who would have known? Oh, my God, I have no idea. And I'm just like, in my mind, it was so much friction caused in my mind with this. And I started, and my mind went to a different place, like just a negative place. This is why I don't have female friends. This is why I don't let women drive for me. This is why I don't do all these things. And I felt really bad about it. But then after I relaxed a bit, right, because all this is going on in my mind, after I relaxed a bit, I really tried to understand. I was just thinking in my head, like, what is going on in this situation for me to give her so much information and she literally refuses to take any of the counsel or instruction I have. And I really thought, hey, well, this is probably a conversation I should have with her at some point. But I thought it has to have something to do with lack of trust from other people or men in general. I don't really know. So my question is, could it be possible that a woman could be so in her mind about trusting other people to make decisions that she literally operates like that in every aspect of her life?
Hold on, wait 1 second. Before you answer that question, what I want to do, guys, I want to get you guys involved in this conversation. And what I'm going to do here is, you seen Ryan clearly gave his testimony on how he has experienced this. If any of you guys are currently in a relationship where you're experiencing any one of them the dynamics that we just discussed, or went through this or experienced this in the past, or are currently experiencing this, I want y'all to come up and tell us about it. Because listen, we got Dr. Jermone Glenn
It's testimony time.
with
It's testimony time.
absolutely
It is,
with the
it is.
beautiful wife on here. So y'all better come up in here and get this game. I went in here and I dropped the in the chat you can join and go backstage. So come backstage so we can get your questions answered. Click the link in the chat right now. But
Can I chime in? Can I chime in?
Yeah.
While they come?
Absolutely.
I mean, because this is a woman who is used to having to make all the decisions. She ain't Ryan live in Atlanta. He don't live in Houston. She don't got enough Ryans around. She don't got enough bros. She don't got enough men that she trusts. She is in her, as they say, her masculine energy. She's functioning in her singleness of her identity and her dominion. And she's so used. She got her me, myself, and I on, and she's so used to having to make all the choices and all decisions that even though she was riding in a car with somebody that had her best interests and knew what he was talking about, somebody that was credible, somebody that did the work, did the research, knew the direction, knew that she was going, she couldn't fall back. She couldn't trust it. And even when she found out she was wrong, she couldn't own, I'm wrong. I should have just followed your lead, because the woman that has no one to lead is used to leading. And when she's always used to leading, she's leading in the workplace. She's leading in the community. She's leading in the family. The men haven't stepped up in her particular life to give her a sense to understand what that voice sounds like and what that feels like to be in a safe space. And not even in a romantic relationship, but just in a safe relationship where I could take the instructions and follow with this. Unfortunately, my bad, that so many Black women in particularly has this to put this on every day. Got to go out, fight. All my life I had to fight. They, you know what I'm saying? They got to put their Sophia on all the time. That when they run into, when they so used to having to be Sophia that they don't know how to fall back. They don't know how to just fall back and take the ride. And in that case, that's what most women are experiencing. And when they don't get healed before they get in a relationship, and they get into a relationship with a real man with credibility, he's not going to go for the fight. He gonna check out, because he's gonna be like, I did the research, I got the credibility, I told you where we was going, I planned it, I tried to drive, you wanted to do it, and I cannot take this. Now we in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the power struggle that I'm talking about, that my wife and I had when we first got married, because she too was so used to having to do it herself all the time by herself, that when I showed up, she wasn't used to that dynamic to learn how to trust. She had to learn how to trust it. And I had to give her space and time to learn how to trust it while I gained credibility. That's
way to give space and time on that one, because I just go get
another one.
Yo, I should not be laughing at that. I should not be laughing at that.
But Ty, that is real, Ty. That is where dudes at. They like, what? I'm not fighting for. Why I gotta fight?
That's where my husband. When I said I almost lost it, because that's where my husband was, and he just said to me, he was like, "Is this the real you? The fighting? Is this? Am I gonna have to battle with you in order to be in this relationship? Because if I do, I'm making some decisions right now, and I just want to know, because you done showed me two sides of you. You done showed me this side, and you done showed me this side, and I just want to know which side I'm gonna get." Because the side that I'm going to get is the one that I know I could be in a relationship with. And I just want to know, which one are you going to show up as? And that made me realize where I was in my space, in my development. And the very thing that I knew in my heart that I wanted was not necessarily coming out of my mouth or in my actions, but in my heart. I knew what I wanted, but I was not portraying what I wanted in my heart, in my actions, and with my mouth.
That's right. I was attracted to the sensitivity, the nurturer, the lover, the one that she talked to me, the way she speak to me. She built me up. I felt empowered in her presence. I felt wanted to be close to her. When she called my name, I wanted to be drawn to her. But then there was another side on certain days, you know what I'm saying, that she was hard and harsh and guarded and protected and argumentative and combative. And I was like,
another one.
Exactly. I was like, yo, I think I'm about to head out. I need to know which version am I gonna get, and the complexity of womanhood. To be fair, she's a principal. She's in a career. She's working in a field that has her aggressive and needing to learn how to navigate that aggression and not hold that aggression against me, and healing through her whole process of her previous relationships that were disappointments, not letting that be projected on me. I had to give her a consciousness, an awareness that I was rubbing up against that, and I didn't like how it felt. And if that was who she was, then I was about to get, come on,
another one.
You already know.
Hey, hold on, wait. So y'all keep in mind, I want y'all to come backstage here, y'all. Anybody that struggle with it, because first of all, the way this chat looking, I know y'all done had some struggles with some power dynamics in your relationships. Any of the four we went over. By the way, the 4 ways a man feels power in a relationship: decision-making authority, financial independence, respect and authority, social influence and status. Have y'all ever had this used against you? Have you ever had it not present? Have you had an experience with it, or are you currently having an experience that you want to talk about? We went ahead,
or
and
you don't know. You may be experiencing some kind of issues or challenges with one of these 4 things, and you may be confused about it. You're not really sure if that is where all the issues are stemming from. So guys, please call in, because you're getting counsel from 2 of the best
in the game
live on
and
air.
ladies, guess what? Stay put, ladies, because we also got the top 4 ways ladies feel power in a relationship as well. We didn't forget about you, all right? We just starting here with the guys. But it looks like I got a brother back here backstage. Is this? Oh, this the brother Noble is backstage.
Crazy. I actually ran into Noble yesterday.
Noble, what's popping with your brother?
Yo, what's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
Hey, bless. That's that's Noble, and that's Chosen right there. That's Chosen.
Wow.
Noble and Chosen. Yo, that's dope.
What's popping with you, brother?
Those 2 powerful names.
Yeah, thank you. I just had a question for the lady there, if you don't mind.
Miss Erica Glenn, what's up? What you got for us, Noble?
I just want to know, like, how long did it take for you to get on your man's page, like to really like trust him? Like, how long did it take for him to get that credibility that he was talking about? Because my wife and I, we've been together a little over a year or so, and she's very much a high achieving woman. She's made a lot of money. She's always made her own decisions. She was married before, and that relationship was very much, they were on like 2 separate tracks, but she was doing her own thing, but she was always very successful, right? And she chose me as her husband. I chose her back. We got this beautiful son. We're doing great together overall, and we have our direction. We're doing good for our business. But every once in a while, like, there just comes this kind of friction where she's like, well, I wouldn't do it that way. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like, this is the way we're doing it, you know? How long did it take for him to build up that credibility to where you would be like, kind of fall back like instantly? Or are you still able to do that now to like kind of fall back instantly when he says that he wants to make a decision after you guys talk about it?
Great question.
Trying to answer.
Go ahead. Take
So we
that
had a
one,
sound.
Mrs.
We
Glenn.
had a sound issue, but I think what you were asking her, how long did it take for you to get on? How long did it take for you to get on my page?
Yep.
To be able to trust with the credibility.
Yeah, for him to build that credibility.
How long did it take? I mean, I really can't tell you how long. I can tell you that it was a process, and it was a process that had to be intentional. Which what I mean by that is, when my husband came up against that struggle, he acknowledged it. He acknowledged that I was making him feel a certain kind of way. He acknowledged that I was demonstrating a certain kind of way. And I think the constant conversation and being committed to making sure that we were on the same page, and realizing that it would take time, and it had to take intentionality, and that it was a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And like I would tell him, certain things I would tell him, I would be like, you know what? Dude, I didn't wake up. I didn't wake up. It's taken me 30 years to be how I am. And I'm not going to wake up one morning and I'm just going to be on your page. I need you to realize that this is something that we have to commit to. And it's something that it's going to metamorphose into what it needs to be. But there needs time. you need to give me some time. There needs to be some intentionality. You need to, if I say that I'm going to do this, if I say that when we're having a conversation that I'm going to listen like this, or I'm not going to respond like that, we have to be honest with each other in our interaction with each other, because really at the stage of where you guys are, you're still learning each other and you're learning how to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship. But just because you're the man does not mean that it's just gonna wham bam and it's just gonna be your way. That's not gonna happen. You have to be patient and you have to be intentional. And I think that sometimes with what my husband was struggling with at one time was, he was like, you know what, just forget it. I don't want this no more. I don't want, you to be on my page and everything, because it's a struggle and you're gonna have your opinion and all this other kind of stuff. And I had to let him know, no, I want to do this right. I want us to be one. I want us to be on the same page. I want us to be going in the same direction, but I need some time and I need some intentionality, and I need you to be my mirror. I need you to tell me when certain things aren't the right way, and I need to be able to tell you when things are not the right way. And there's communication in that. So I think you just need time, you need process, and you need intentionality.
Wow.
Got it. Thank you. One last question, which is, was there like an aha moment where you was like, oh, I get it? Or was it just like a gradual question?
Yes, there was an aha moment. I can't tell you when, but I realized that I took my boxing gloves off.
Wow.
I had both boxing gloves on, and then there came a time and a point where I took off one and I only had one boxing glove on. And then there was that moment where I realized I don't have my boxing gloves on anymore. And in that moment of not having my boxing gloves on anymore, my heart could trust in my husband, because I didn't have to fight the world. I didn't have to fight him. And with that intentionality and with that process and with that, loving each other and being committed to it, the boxing gloves will come off, but you have to be committed to getting them off.
Right. Thank you much. I appreciate that. I'm an emotional intelligence genius, is what I say. And I got one of the gloves off already, but still, it's going to take some time and whatnot. But I really appreciate it. I'm going to show her this video, because like you guys are right on point to everything that we've been talking about. So she understands who are going through it, who are married and whatnot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to starting this.
And no, but she don't watch the video, you already know.
Another one.
No.
I'm joking. I'm
Don't take
joking.
marriage advice from single guys. No. But Noble, I will add to it from a man's perspective, credibility, man. Like, don't worry, because like the girl that Ryan was riding with all her life, she had to fight. Just keep winning, man. Keep winning for the family. Yeah. Keep gaining credibility. The more credibility you have, the more relaxed she becomes, the more she can trust your decision making, the more she realizes you have her best interest. It takes some patience, but you've been married for 1 year, man. In 1 year, man, it took patience on my part for her to just relax, but also we were grown when we got married. So I had to be patient and I had to keep winning, even though it was uncomfortable for her. When I kept winning for us, then she stopped fighting me because she recognized we was already winning.
Noble, thank you so much for calling up here, brother. That was a great question, okay?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
It was. So, guys, listen, keep calling in, because that was such a great question. I want to keep them flowing, but I want to move past the decision-making authority a bit, and I want to talk about respect and authority. So just to review this for the audience again, this is the perception of respect and authority within a relationship. The perception of respect and authority within a relationship, where one partner is seen as more knowledgeable, competent, or respected than the other in certain areas. And when I read this, I just bust out laughing, because I was I'm like, this is true. It's certain things that when I'm, if I'm in an intimate relationship with a woman, it's certain things that even if it's not true, I want to be known as the person who has more expertise in this situation. So is that wrong? Is that wrong for a man to feel like that? Like, because if I go to, we buying a TV or something, or some electronics, don't get me wrong. She may have researched and know exactly which one to buy, know all the specs, but I'm the person that need to talk to the TV sales dude, right? So is that what do you think about that, Eric? Is that wrong for a man to feel that way?
I don't think that it's wrong for a man to feel that way. I just think that a man cannot believe that he has, if he's in a relationship, that the woman that he's with, that he can't gain anything from her. So I think that men want to know, they want to be respected. They want to, be the person that, is talking and is knowledgeable. And I believe, because of a male's ego, if a woman, my husband says, there's women that are in relationships with men and they'll say, oh, well, he doesn't talk. He's quiet. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't say anything. And then my husband be like, no, he's saying something. You just not paying attention. But I also feel that men want to solve problems. So it's like, if I give you a problem, man of God, I know that even if you don't know, you gonna be like, hold on, you know what? I think it's something. I put it over here. Let me go find out. You could be in the car trying to Google it so that you can come back and be the authority about it. I feel like that's just a man's ego, and that's just a part of who he is. So it doesn't bother me about that. The only thing that would bother me about that is if he, to a fault, to our demise, feel like he know it and he don't.
I get it. Like,
because of your ego.
So like if you're saying you're going into the wrong direction and he continues to go into that wrong direction,
credibility.
Okay, I get it. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Every man want that Hachi Tachi 3000. You know what I'm saying? From the Martin episode. You want to go buy that Hachi Tachi 3000. That just is what it is. But you have to learn the strengths of your relationship. Who has the most wisdom in a particular area, and you lean to that dynamic to make sure that you give that power to your relationship so that you all are empowered and you both win. We're not fighting against each other. We want who makes the best decision, who has the credibility in that area, who has the expertise in that area, and that's how we get it done as a couple.
And as a woman, if you understand and know that a man wants respect and his power source is respect, you slip him information because he's gonna have to present it to other people. That's a wise woman. A wise woman is not like, let me show him in front of his friend. Like, you don't do that. I think that's the social part of it, is that making sure that he's always looked upon as being on top, not because he's not credible. Just because you understand the strength of your relationship and the dynamics that y'all have in y'all relationship, and you like, oh, I know a little bit more about this, but I'm not going to put him out there on Front Street. I'm going to slide that to him so he can feel empowered and he can feel the authority that is needed for credibility, even around the people that I'm around with.
That's that high level game.
That's
right
deep.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's
Deep
that
game.
high
That just
level
gave
game.
crazy credibility to her, because if I know that she knew something and instead of exposing I didn't know it, she gave me the information so I could present it on the back end in that moment, that's queen stuff. That's queen status. That's like I'm handling her a whole entirely different way because the way she handled me.
Honestly, that is what you think. Like, you think like you somebody I could build with.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what pop up in your head as a man. You like, okay.
Okay. You ain't in competition with me.
You're not
Because otherwise,
Okay.
yeah. Otherwise, it does seem like competition.
Girl, you just
That's
went from
right.
a rook. You went from a rook to a queen, girl. That fast. To my chess players out there. So let's actually do this, because there are also 4 ways that a woman can feel empowered in a relationship. And I want to get to this, and I think the ladies are really going to like this one. The fellas too, because we've all experienced this as well. Ryan, did you have anything before I got over to that?
No.
Oh, actually, man, we haven't read the super chats yet.
I'm going to read the super chats and I'm going to close the poll. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, the poll is open. Yeah, let's close out the poll.
So we did good on this poll, guys. 376 votes. How do men most feel power in a relationship? Decision-making authority, financial independence, respect and authority, or social influence and status. And after 380 votes, okay, respect and authority is actually number 1 at 60%.
Not surprised.
Coming in the tie for second is decision-making authority and financial independence. And the last one, social influence and status, which we didn't talk about, but I think y'all might be sleeping on that social influence and status. I think that's actually a little bit bigger.
It is.
But would you agree with that, Jermone? Is respect and authority, would you say that's number 1?
100%. A man interprets love through respect.
It's the man's
Period.
love language for sure.
That's how he
Agreed.
knows he's loved. He knows he's loved by how he's respected. And the worst thing is to be in a relationship where you're not respected in your relationship, but you are respected in the world.
Ooh,
Another one.
mandatory.
Yeah,
It's
that's
mandatory.
It's guys that's in that situation right now.
Yeah,
And
you can't be at work giving out instructions
And
and
somebody listening to you.
people holding your word as value, and you making decisions, and you hiring and firing people, and you making money and making moves for the company, and then come home and be emasculated and diminished. Ain't gonna work.
Erica, let me ask you this before we go to the ladies, because I know the ladies are excited to get to the 4 things that make them feel power in a relationship. But I'm very curious, why do you think a woman would continue to be in a relationship with a man that she does not respect or want to relinquish authority to?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That she does not respect or relinquish authority to. In a relationship, because she's getting something else.
She's
Be it
getting
sex, be it money, be it
You putting-
control, be it control that is going to be that's not long, there's no longevity in controlling a man, because that's gonna get old and that's gonna get tiresome, and you're gonna want to go get you another one. Okay.
That's all. Hey, don't let ladies hang it. There you go.
Because you don't want to keep doing that as a woman. You want to feel protected. You want somebody to fight with you. You want somebody to empower you. You want that covering. So that's going to get old. So I feel that when you're in a relationship where you disrespect a man, there's something there that you're getting that you don't want to relinquish. Or for some women, they're like, well, at least he's a man, and I can, I can say that I'm in a relationship, or I can say that he's giving me something. They're getting something from it. It's just not enough. That's why they're frustrated. That's why they don't respect him. That's why they don't really want to be there, but they're still there. And really the man, I even question the man, because what kind of man wants to be in a relationship where he's disrespected? That's a broken man. So you're with a broken man, and you're trying to, quote unquote, build this relationship with a broken man. He's broken. Somebody broke him. And as a woman, if you're not in a place or a position
That's
to
real.
recognize his brokenness and to respect him and allow him to have authority and to build him up, then you just as worse as the other women or his mother that continue to break him. He's a broken man.
Wow.
Ooh, hey,
Honestly,
first
I
of
think
all,
he's speaking to somebody right now. Somebody right now, a man and woman living together in an apartment, splitting the bills, not having sex. Woman don't respect you, talking to dudes on the side. You asking her 1,000 questions when she get home. Where you been at? Who you been with? And
don't worry about it.
Yep.
Don't worry about where I've been. Where I've been ain't none of your damn business.
And why are you still there, bro? Why you
Right.
It's
Why you
crazy.
still there?
Trust me, we got some emails for some brothers that's like very, it's really heartbreaking. What a lot of brothers sit in a relationship, and I know we used to hear.
Why do they say they still there though, Ty?
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not dug deeply enough with enough brothers to get a well-rounded answer. But what I will tell you is those brothers that are all from the brothers that I have spoken to, a lot of those brothers all across the spectrum are lacking self-confidence and self-worth
And self-respect.
So,
Identity.
oh my gosh, it's really a lot missing from those brothers, and they really do feel like that relationship is giving them something that they can't give themselves, and it's sad when a man is in that relationship or that type of relationship because he's on this hamster wheel of abuse, and he's not able to stop that. So shout out to all the brothers that have experienced that, and you on Harley Initiated right now trying to figure this out, because you got to figure something out, because you cannot keep that situation happening. In fact,
we all been there to some extent.
I actually got a brother back here that's about to come talk to us. I love when my brothers is back here. The brothers on the show today. We got Will on the stage here today. What's popping with you, Will?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing this evening?
Blessed and highly favored. I forgot to tell my last guest to do it. Will, do me a favor. Give me your age, your location, and your relationship status, my brother.
I'm 35 years old in Richmond, Virginia, and I am married.
Married brother on here today. We got two married brothers back to back.
That's lit.
How long you been married, by the way?
2 years, man. Me and my wife, we dated 4 years before we got married. Yep.
Okay.
Well, no, it wasn't 4 years. We yeah, we've been together for we've been married for 2 years. And before that, we dated for 2 years before that.
You getting cussed out in the background. I hear you.
Yeah. Low key. It's all good though. But
What's up? What's your question, brother?
No, I just got on here kind of like to make a statement because I heard heard the guy talking about credibility in certain areas.
Yeah.
I just want to like encourage like all the men out there. Listen, when you got something good, diminish your ego because your ego is not bigger than what you're trying to build. You know, your ego it could possibly stunt the growth of it. You know what I mean? Because there are certain things that my wife is like, she gives a much better perspective, and not even necessarily a better perspective, but a different perspective. And I always tell my wife, listen, man, your voice is very much needed. And that's been something that we even talked about in the dating stage, talked about in the engagement stage, and, you know, going through the marriage counseling and everything. You know, of course, she respects me as the head of this marriage, head of our home, you know, as God would have me to be. But even within that, I understand that, hey, I know that God looks at me first. Yo, it's two of us that's making this happen. So if you can give me a much better perspective on something, or different perspective to have me, you know, to think a different way. But not only that, a lot of time, well, I say maybe 80% of the time when she like hit me with something, like, listen, babe, check it. This might happen. I'm telling you, it came through just like that every single time. And, you know, these fellas, diminish your ego. It ain't that big, man. Listen, man, you can pound your chest in other spaces, you know what I'm talking about. But you know, when it comes to building your marriage, diminish the ego. It ain't even that important.
Bro, Will, I appreciate you coming up on here and keeping the fellas in check. Check your ego. That's a good message.
I'm telling you, it's not that important. Like to the building of something. You know, 50 of us, we can go out, you know, trying to build a 100 floor building or whatever. But one dude, he wants to take credit for such and such, which really doesn't matter. Everyone else, you know, we all put our hands to it in some kind of capacity, right? So just come in it as your best self and let things go that way. And, you know, with everyone else who can add their best self to, you know, to the building of it, hey, bring it on in and appreciate them too. And with that, you know, take that same analogy and do it with your spouse, man. No, not just a spouse, but the woman that you see, hey, I'm gonna build something with her. I bet we dating. All right, let me continue to let her know, okay, babe, I got you with that right there. I appreciate that. Okay. we engaged now, you know, continue to, you know, to affirm her, man. You know, well, and that it's gonna come back on you.
I appreciate you, Will. Thank you so much, brother.
Spoken like a wise married man to a good woman. That's real.
He came on here to put y'all on game.
And Will, you better make sure you got your own pack of Hardly in Love dating cards. Make sure y'all using that. Dive a little deeper.
Just to dive.
Hey, I just want to know, do them Harley initiated cards got some value questions in it?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Matter of fact, what we're gonna do? How about this? You let us know. We're gonna send you over a deck. For the
Can't wait.
Happy anniversary.
By the
way, it's the 19th anniversary of Dr. Jermone Glenn and Erica Glenn. Y'all better put a happy anniversary in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to send y'all over a deck over there for you. I mean, that's the least we could do.
They got lots of credibility going on over there. Whole lot of credibility.
I guarantee you, we got at least 50 questions you ain't never asked each other. At least 50.
Hey, remember on my very first episode with you, and we talked about that, and y'all was like, yo, what's the questions? So I
remember that.
A year later, y'all got the questions. Like, that was one of the first things we talked about. What kind of questions do you ask when you date?
We stole all Dr. Jermone questions and put them in a deck, y'all.
Absolutely. So we got just funny. We probably did actually. So we got somebody in the hotline I want to bring in. But real quick before you bring them on, I want to give a shout out to all the initiates joining tonight. A bunch of them joining tonight. Shout out to my girl VJ. Happy anniversary, my adopted grandson. So this is actually for the Glenn's anniversary, VJ. But VJ, we love you, and yes, we are your adopted grandsons. This is just the beginning. I need that affirmation. God's continued blessings. Shout out to VJ. Shout out to K-Ann, the moderator for Hardly Initiated.
Love you,
She's
K-Ann.
always holding down the chat. Absolutely, we love you, K-Ann. I look at a power couple as a couple where both individuals are ambitious, but still obviously love and support each other. There's mutual support and appreciation, and they don't feel threatened by each other's success. That is ideal, K-Ann, for facts. Shout out to CeeLo. This guy. So if you tune into the first part of the episode, I actually gave a shout out to one of our very own initiates, Carlos. He's actually chiming in here. He says, "Hey guys, Carlos here. It was kind of awkward hearing me get a shout out, LOL. But I prayed and come to find out it's not God's will. Kind of bummed, but I acknowledge all things work together for good." I think what it was.
Another one.
Hey, don't worry, player.
Okay.
Hey, nothing else to say. You heard that? DJ Khaled tell you what's gonna happen, baby.
Another one.
It ain't her, player.
Another one.
Let's get it.
Big facts, big facts.
My wife always say, if it ain't that one, it's the next one. That one got you ready for the next one. So stay in there, Carlos. So.
That's a fact.
I mean, connection is hard to find, so you have to be a little bit delusional in that you have to be optimistic that they are always assuming you're not in a committed relationship. Because some of y'all be optimistic about another relationship and you in a relationship right now. I'm talking about you single. You have to be optimistic that your connection is out there waiting for you. So Carlos, I'm sure she is. She's probably watching the channel right now. So what you should do is drop your IG handle in there. Get you some ladies getting them DMs going.
Ladies, if you want to shoot your shot at Carlos, put shoot my shot in the chat right now. Carlos, drop your IG.
Real quick, throw that picture of Carlos up real quick so the ladies take a good look at him.
Yeah, put that picture. Hey, and ladies, guess what? Hey, he comes with a deck of Hardly in Love cards.
Wow.
So he's a good time.
Throw that picture up there, Lano.
He's a good time. Man, Lano, put the...
Lano is slow on the ones and twos.
Man. There he go.
There you
Look
go.
at that brother. Hey, you see them shoulders? You see them shoulders on that brother's a horse. All right?
Shout out to Carlos. Make sure y'all, Carlos, you dropped your IG in there. Let's bring up a young lady. Let's do that.
Let's bring up Nikki. Nikki's been patiently backstage. Nikki, what's popping with you, sweetheart?
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely.
Nikki, let's go ahead and start like this.
It's kind of surreal being on here because I've been watching you guys so much. So thank you guys for this platform. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. Well, let's get your location and your age.
So I'm 31 and I'm here in Bermuda.
Bermuda. Hey, are you single?
Yes, so I'm single. I went through a divorce last year. So I'm like re-navigating. That's why it's been so helpful, I feel like, for me with you guys' platform on, like I said, re-navigating these streets, as you guys are always saying.
Exactly. So we gotta get you some game over here, Nikki. So let us know, what's your question for the Glens?
Yeah. So I guess my question, from my perspective as a woman who is like independent by necessity, has been just circling back a little bit, like part of a big issue in my previous relationship was the shift in dynamic when I started earning more. And so a lot of what you guys have been touching on in this, it was something that we had talked about and kind of just got to a point that was unhealthy. And I feel like I've recognized in parts for myself that were like emasculating, I think, in a way that I wasn't realizing at the time, that I've learned a lot from. And even in that's where I'm kind of trying to position myself now in a place where I know that I can do so much on my own, but I do want to be with somebody who, I feel that they're also financially comfortable, and I feel safe in the fact that at some point I can ease off, like you guys have been talking about, just because I am living like this and I can, I don't want to be like this all the time. So, but I would like to pour that same energy and, passion and drive that I have into something that I believe that we both believe in. So that's where I think my question is really from both of your perspectives, Erica and Jerome, like Erica, like how would you suggest as a woman, like presenting yourself where, you know, I'm thriving on my own, but being able to share that at some point I like what I desire to shift. And then also, like I say, on Jerome's perspective or any of the gentlemen's perspectives, like, I guess suggestions on any like green or red flag things to say or not to say, or you know, when you're kind of sharing that about like your own passion and drive, but being able to build that more together. Like my whole thing goes back to like, I want to be with somebody that we can build an empire together, that we can really pour into something together. But yeah, so I think
so wait, just so I can get it.
I know
Nick,
I'm rambling on now, but
so you're exactly.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I feel that early on in our marriage, I made more money than my husband. Actually, probably for about two or 3 years. 2 years in our marriage, I made more money than him. And I knew that I was not the person that was great with money. I knew that. And at first I tried to take care of it, and then it just didn't work. And so I basically gave my check because I trusted his leadership in regards to finances, not because I was the woman, but you know, in some relationships, the woman is the one that's divvying the money and things of that nature. But that was not my strong suit. So I gave it to him, and he decided where everything needed to go. And we talked about our financial goals and what we needed to do and how we needed to pay off certain things or whatever. And, you know, at first I was a little, you know, I'm just being honest and real. I was just like, he was like, I'm gonna give you an allowance. And I was like, what? You about to give me some of my money? What do you mean? Like, and then I had to change my verbiage. It wasn't my money, it was our money that we were putting together, because money grows when it gets together, not when it's separated. And so we knew that that was our purpose and what we were going to do and what we were going to do with the money. We were taught that in premarital counseling of how we were going to deal with the things that were important to us as a couple, and how we needed to have a plan to make that happen. And when you have a plan to make that happen and you know who's going to be doing whatever, then there shouldn't be any kind of strife that is within you, because y'all have a plan. There's a bigger picture than just bringing money together. There's different pots that it's going to go into. And so it wasn't, after a while, I didn't even think about it anymore, because I trusted the leadership of my husband, and he let me know where certain things were and things of that nature. Even to this day, he does that exact same thing. But trusting my husband, he got me out of debt, that I was in debt for something for like over 12 years. He got me out of debt with it in 3 months, because of his power, his understanding, his gifting in a certain area. And so I would say you don't diminish yourself. You just have a conversation about the differences and who is the best person for it. And I think that conversation when you're dating is acknowledging, this is what I bring to a relationship. What do you bring to a relationship? What are your strengths? What are you passionate about? And then that kind of lets you kind of know where that person is, and really know if you can really build with that person or not.
Yeah, and from my perspective, I mean, that took time. Again, credibility. That was cute the way she said it. It was very, very much a power struggle when I first presented that option to her, but it was no intent to take anything from her. It was, again, to make sure that I was building with her and showing and giving a dynamic to our relationship, because I was taking care of these bills. We could take care of this, and we could save, and we could store, and we could stack. And when it was all said and done, we will have more at the end than we have right now. And so me constantly building that credibility gained that trust. But even in that conversation, to your point, it's about compatibility, right? So everybody isn't compatible with everybody. So you have to find compatibility, so you don't diminish and lose yourself in the relationship because you're with somebody that don't know what to do with you, how to handle you, how to treat you, how to put you in the strongest position, right? For who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Once that's understood, as you find a partner, a purpose partner, somebody that's walking with you towards a desired outcome and a desired goal, it's not a power struggle. It's a power couple. I'm going to lend my strengths to this relationship. You lend your strengths to this relationship. And the outcome is that we're stronger and better together. That's the idea.
Nikki, thank you so much for coming up here and asking that question, okay?
That makes sense?
Thank you. Yes, that makes sense. And I think just real quick, what you guys were sharing a lot with the financial side, I think that it's not even that, like even in what you guys are saying reiterates that it's more like the drive and the vision, like making sure that that is the stuff that is the most compatible. Because I realized that's where stuff was misfit for me before as well. It like has nothing to really do at the end of the day with just the financial. It's really that your drive and vision in that way is in that same direction. But I love that you said purpose partners, because that is what I say all the time. And I also listen to like Lateris on the Dear Future Wifey one as well, which I know you guys have all had on here as well. But so that term purpose partner really resonates with me a lot as well. So so I appreciate you guys.
If you go back to try to watch the first Harley Initiated that I was on, I talked about we date vision, but we marry values, right? When you understand that you're married somebody that has shared values, then the rest of it is easier to accomplish. When we mismatch values are the thing that helps you to accomplish vision.
Great question.
I think I saw that, but I'll have to watch it again. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, again and again, Nikki, we appreciate you.
Much love. All right.
Shout out to Bermuda, man. We done had some Bermuda legends come on. We done had Coach Chris Crump. We done had Cindy Trim. Who else would I have from Bermuda? One more person. I can't even remember.
That's a lot of callers actually. We might have to do an event out in Bermuda. We got a lot of listeners out in Bermuda. But what I want to do now is, because I told you we had something for the ladies. We talked about the 4 ways that a man feels power in a relationships, and we researched the 4 ways that a woman feels power in a relationship. Some of the top 4 ways. And ladies, I want to get your perspective on this one. But first, I also want to let you guys know, for everybody that's just getting in here, because the live is going. We've been going now for about an hour and 30 minutes on a dot. Guys, just so you know, we are doing a giveaway at the end. 3 books are being given away. Look, the Power Couple book written by Dr. Jermone Glenn and Erica Glenn is dropping today. And they launching it here on Hardly Initiated. And we giving 3 books out. So what I need y'all to do is go to the description. There's a link in the description. Just fill it out. Literally. You just put your contact information in, and we're going to announce it in just a few, because we're getting close to the end of the show. Glenn's, y'all in here rocking with us still.
We
here.
We here.
Perfect,
I love
perfect.
it. So what we're going to do is we're going to read these last 4 ways that women feel power in a relationship.
Yes, I'm going to read that, but I want you guys to know, all you got to do, like he said, put your contact information in that form. I literally just dropped it in the chat. I'm going to pin it to the top, also in the descriptions and the comments as well. We are going to announce the 3 winners for those 3 signed copies of the Power Couple book by Jermone and Erica. So, guys, we send these out. They're going to be signed. We always take care of our initiates, but don't forget, if you happen to be one of the 3 lucky winners, please send us over a photo or video with you and your gift, which is the book, right? And we are going to post it live on YouTube, email, Instagram, all of that good stuff. So we really look out for y'all. So make sure y'all do that for us.
So here we go. Drum roll, please.
Lano, we need a drum roll sound.
We got to get the drum roll sound.
Because that wasn't it.
Right.
That was a little ghetto. All right, hold on. There we go. How to make it. That's my ghetto sound.
Yeah, that's the ghetto sound.
All right, so check this out. The first one, the first thing that makes women feel power in a relationship: autonomy and independence.
Read that one.
This is associated with having the freedom to make one's own decisions, pursue personal goals, and maintain a sense of independence within the relationship. 2, financial stability and contribution. Economic independence and financial stability are sources of power for women. Having control over one's finances and making meaningful contributions to the household income enhance a sense of autonomy. All right. 3, assertiveness and boundaries. Power can involve the capacity to assert one's needs and preferences assertively without fear of retaliation or dismissal. This includes setting boundaries, advocating for oneself, and addressing disagreements. All right? And the last one that makes women feel power in a relationship: equality in partnership. Power is experienced through the cultivation of equitable partnerships where both partners share responsibilities and decision-making, fostering a sense of fairness in the relationship. You know how I know that one is true?
Why is that?
Because I see us as a culture, we're moving away from the word wife and using partner.
Yeah.
A lot more. I think that as a culture is us subtly acknowledging that we have this battered relationship even with the word.
Some inequality going on. At least it feels that way.
It feels like it's probably some inequality
Wow.
with the word. So you'll notice that there's some women who even feel uncomfortable and might even check you if you use the word wife. And they'll say, no, I don't want to be a man's wife. I want to be his partner.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, now that's more on the extreme end of the spectrum. But I promise you, I think it's related to this power dynamic and the power struggles that we've experienced, whether ourselves or we've seen happen in the past. But before I assume, I want to drop a poll on this one as well.
Yeah, I just dropped a poll because we let Erica chime in on the men, so I would definitely want Jermone to chime in on how he feels about this one for the ladies. How do women most feel power in a relationship? Autonomy and independence. That's your first option. Number 2 is financial stability and contribution. Number 3, assertiveness and boundaries. And number 4, equality and partnership. We already got over 150 votes on this thing, and it looks like equality and partnership is leading so far at 52%. So it is wild. And Jermone, before you chime in with this, I need men and I need the ladies to chime into this. What do you think? How do women most feel power in a relationship? Jermone, let me hear your thoughts on these 4.
Most feel powered. I mean, I think that all of them have a position of power. Everything that you said, again, in the idea, autonomy and independence. Internally in a relationship, autonomy and independence, that's something that I think you explore more outside of your relationship. When you come to a relationship, it's not, I guess you want autonomy in the sense of the ability to think and make your own decisions, your own choices, but accountability and interdependence would be what I'm saying is the real strength in a relationship. Not autonomy and independence, but accountability and interdependence would be the thing that gives the relationship power. Autonomy and independence might give the woman the power, but it will not give the relationship the power. If a man exerted the same thing that's being asked in that sense, then I don't think the relationship would have the strength that is needed. That's interesting to me. That one is interesting. Autonomy and independence in the context of a relationship that's associated with having the freedom to make your own decision. Of course you make your own decision. Pursue your personal goals. Of course you do. Maintain a sense of independence within the relationship. What is independence within the relationship? You want to be in a relationship?
Honestly, it's an oxymoron in some ways.
It's what I'm saying. Like, you want to be in the relationship, but you want to be independent. You want to be in a relationship that is interdependent and have accountability, but you want to have autonomy at the same time. Like, I don't understand. Autonomy is separate. That's the problem with the power struggle for me. When it's a power struggle, is because you want the accoutrements of the relationship. You want to be in a relationship, but still you want to function like you're not in a relationship.
Okay, well, so in this case, let's focus on the make one's own decision and pursue personal goals, because this actually reminds me. And it's so funny. I don't know what made me think of this, but I used to date this young lady for quite some time. This was maybe 5 years ago. We dated for 2 years. And I remember she had this very weird relationship with her mom. And I remember her sharing, we went out of town and we was chilling with her folks. And she was just being really kind of catty with her mom, So it was late, we hanging out. I'm like, yo, what's up with you and your mom? Why you say these certain things? And she just expressed so much frustration. But what she said was, my mom, she just stresses out my dad so much. She was a daddy's girl. She stresses out my dad so much, every like year she wants to do something different. She wants to own this. She wants to start this shop, and then she wants to be a real estate agent, and then she wants to do this. And my dad is under so much stress. And it's funny now that I think about it, because the young lady I was dating, she was very like straight line. So she's like, yo, I want to be a politician. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, it's nothing else to come in between. And it's funny when I think about that, I think about her mom was like very feminine. And she was more on like the masculine end. So I'm just very curious, like when it comes to a woman, should just as general, should a man expect a woman to, in these different seasons that she in, should we expect our woman to kind of want to take on these different projects and just do different things that may seemingly come out the blue and also may require a considerable financial contribution if she decides to change these things often?
Perhaps a woman, but a wife is a different role of a woman. A woman is a woman, but a wife is a different role with a different set of expectations. Do your woman all you want while you womaning. But when you become a wife, you have bought into an idea that means two are better than one. That means you are not independently running a race. You are proactively running a partner together. Yes, you have two different roles, but you have one particular outcome. And I think people want to be in a relationship while they still don't want to be responsible for the relationship that you're in. And that's just nonsense. Like, it does not work that way. Like, the whole is bigger than the sum of its parts. Like, we have to come. There are sacrifices on both sides that must be made for a successful relationship. What's good for me don't necessarily mean it's always good for us. There is timing. Again, I go back to an example like a Michelle Obama and a Barack Obama. Everything that Michelle Obama is, she always was. But everything she's doing, she wasn't always doing because the timing wasn't right for the unit. But when the time was right, then the ability, the platform had elevated. The opportunity was greater than it was before because she knew how to play the role that was needed at that particular time. Then the world became her footstool at the end. They want her to run for president right now because she held down the wife role. She held down the mother role. Now her children grown. Now she don't have to be the first lady of the United States no more. Now she can be fully herself. If she's trying to assert herself in the fullness of who she is while President Obama is the president of the United States, and she writing Becoming, and she writing all her books and letting you know all her thoughts and all the things that was going on in the background, that the time wasn't right for that. The wisdom of a wife is that I'm fully a woman, but just because I'm a woman don't mean I express all aspects of my femininity at all times. I know how to play the role that's needed, that's best for the function that we're in right now. And that's a lot of people. There's a lot of women that want to be a wife. They want a wedding, but they don't want to be a wife.
They want a wedding, but they don't want to be a wife.
We actually had Cherie Zampino, the ex-wife of Will Smith. That was the exact words she actually said. And the reason that marriage ended is because she wanted the wedding and she did not want the marriage. That's right. It's Harley Initiated has been such a blessing and a curse, man, at the same time. And I say this because when I tell you, it has taught me so much about the scope of marriage, about work, about, the scope of work, about marriage. But what it also does, it just completely unveiled and took all the romanticism associated with marriage away. Listen. And when I say that here, feel me what I say. I'm not saying I don't want to be married. Right. I want to be married. I get two is better than one. I want to have a family. I want to have a bunch of kids that look just like me running around. Right. But listen, ain't no Disney Channel fairy tale stories in my mind about what that's gonna look like. That's what I'm saying.
But if you handle, here's the problem, Ty. We talk about this, right? People do the romanticism first and not the reality first. If you handle the reality, then you can spend the rest of your life being romantic. The romanticism is there. I'm having a great time with my wife. It's a romantic relationship because we dealt with the reality. When people put the romance before reality, then when reality comes, that's why it's a reality check. And then the reality check takes away the romanticism, because what were you actually talking about while you was at dinner? Well, you was too busy trying to impress, dressing up, smelling good, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, trying to take trips, do all the extra stuff that make you look good. But when you finish looking good, you didn't know who you were with. You didn't know what y'all were doing. You didn't know where you were going. You didn't know what you were trying to become. You didn't know what you were after. You didn't know what your skill set was. You didn't know how to lean that into and give that. You didn't know what roles you were supposed to play. So you put the cart before the horse, and now the cart before the horse, the cart is stalled because the horse is behind it. But if you put the horse first, you put the reality. Here's the revelation of who we want to be. Here's the reality of what it'll take to get there. Now let's be romantic and spend the rest of our life enjoying the journey and enjoying our life, because we got the revelation. We live in reality, and now we can spend time being romantic. Don't let the romance go, man. It's romantic in these married streets. Trust me. It's just people always live and they only talk when they got a problem, and they only have a conversation when it's something wrong. That's why it feels like talk when nothing's wrong. Talk when everything's right. Dream, challenge each other, have the necessary conversations so that it don't kill your romance. So romance is where it's at, but you have to deal with the reality first. Why you not that in love?
Right.
Why you not that gone? Why your nose ain't open? Look that person across the seat at that dinner. No, we ain't going to the high expensive place where the lights low. Man, let's go to have some coffee. Exactly. Let me look you in the face in light, in the day of light. Let me talk about who you are, where you come from, what's your family, what you like, what's your dynamic, what's your struggle, who you slept with, how many bodies you got, where you been, you got kids, what kind of money you make, what kind of money you want to make. Let's deal with the stuff that it is. So if I love you, then I literally can be in love with you, because I chose to be in love with the real version of you, not the version I find out about you after you then blew my back out, after you then spent money on me, now after you then took me on trips, and now I'm deceived because you put the physical part of you before you put the part that was most essential for me. That's the part that I'm a marry, right? And that's what I always say. I mean, that's gonna raise my children. Yeah, in these streets out here, people, you can buy a girl, a man, she can buy boobs, booty, hair, everything, lashes. But none of that's gonna raise your kids. What's gonna raise your kids, what's gonna raise your family is what's in her head, what's in her heart, what's in her, what comes out her mouth, what's in her spirit. That's the stuff you building with. And unfortunately, that's the stuff we discover instead of the stuff that we put as a priority to learn first. Who are you? With no keeping up appearances. Not that you can fool me, not that you can trick me. Who are you? Are you working on yourself? Have you been worked on? Who's working on? Who's you accountable to? Autonomy. Who you accountable to? Who is your accountability? Who do you go to? Who gives you advice? Who's in your ear? Who's in your head? When you mad at me, who is your circle that you're gonna run to, that's either gonna push you back or push you away? That's what you marrying. And the reason why people don't have no romance is because they living in the fantasy and the revelation. Then when that reality hit, now they're in the struggle. Forget that, John. We live in a sweet space because we live in reality. Period. Damn.
Hey, let's go ahead and close that poll out, man. Yeah, I think the people have spoke.
Right. So 15 minutes in, guys.
I went on a little tangent. Y'all know how I get.
Oh no, that's how you do. First of all, the hardest person in the world to get a clip or a reel from for Instagram is Jermone Glenn, because like our people be like, we don't know where it start and where it end, because he just went in that whole time. Can we make it 5 minutes time? But go ahead.
So guys, the poll dropped about 15 minutes ago, so you still got time while I'm actually reading these out. But the poll was, how do women most feel power in a relationship? 1, autonomy and independence. 2, financial stability and contribution. 3, assertiveness and boundaries. And 4, equality and partnership. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Looks like 49, almost 50% of people say equality and partnership. So Ty, you might actually be onto something. But before we move to that, I actually want to talk about the assertiveness and boundaries.
I do too.
Okay,
I do too.
Now I want to read this. Assertiveness and boundaries. Power can involve the capacity to assert one's needs and preferences assertively without fear of retaliation or dismissal. This includes setting boundaries, advocating for oneself, and addressing disagreements. So this is for Erica. Erica, does this one in particular resonate with you at all? And in your experience with the many couples that you guys have counseled, do you find that women a lot of women are having an issue of being comfortable with the assertiveness and boundaries and just communicating exactly what they want out of the relationship or something specific from their man?
I do believe that most women they have issue with that, or they have difficulty. Let me say difficulty expressing what they need, because they do feel that if they express what they need, it may not be heard, it may not be respected, that their husband can use it against them in another space and time. But I also feel like that's something that a man could deal with also. So, I understand that probably women feel inferior to a lot of things if we look at it in a general sense. So I hear that, and that makes sense to me, because some women feel like they're in an inferior position, and they feel that marriage can put them in an even more inferior position. And if you don't feel like you had a voice when you were dating, you don't have a voice when you get married. You just don't. So if you were playing along with everything, and you were keeping up appearances, and you were like, let me be a certain kind of way, so he'll just take me, and then I'm gonna show up in a different way, he gonna look at you like, who is you? Like, that's not who you presented yourself to be. So I think even with my husband, with me being a very strong, very independent, raised by a single mother, all of those things. But in my head and in my mind, I wanted to be married. I wanted to be in a relationship with a man that was strong. And I knew that my strength, he would be comfortable with that. It would not be something that he would try to diminish or dummy down.
Right.
So for some women to feel like they can't speak their mind, and that there's going to be some kind of retaliation, he going to hit you, there's going to be some kind of abuse, I feel very bad about that. And that even women feel like that is something that they have to struggle with in regards to power, which I believe has a lot to do with your upbringing. It has a lot to do with your relationships. It has a lot to do with your experiences, and how you want to be, how you allowed yourself to be healed, and if you allow yourself to be healed. So when we have these conversations about how women show up in a marriage and how they feel in a marriage, they have to roll back. How were they raised? What have they experienced? Because you really can't go past your experience. Even if in your heart you desire something else, you have to push past that experience, because that's going to be a trigger when you get into the relationship that you don't show up as your best self. So when you are unmarried, you work on yourself. You work on yourself being secure. You work on yourself being able to speak your mind and not diminish other people, because you need to speak how you feel, and you own all of that. So that's that self-work, that if you don't do that self-work, you're going to show up in your marriage feeling like you being overpowered, feeling like you a slave, feeling like you can't speak your mind, or somebody going to knock your head off, and all that other kind of stuff that's going on. That you make sure all of that stuff is good within inside of you first, before you get into a relationship where that spews out, and it's the aroma that you're giving somebody else. Because I believe, unfortunately, that if we don't heal ourselves, we give the aroma of our past. Let me just say it that way. I don't want to put a cap on certain things, but whatever you don't want to attract that you experience, you get healed in that, so that you don't give that aroma. So there's certain dudes that would never talk to me. You wasn't coming to me because that ain't even what I want. There's certain dudes, they didn't even come talk to me. You couldn't, because you knew you couldn't stand to me toes down. You couldn't. Period. That wasn't arrogant. That's just who I was. The soul who I am. The soul attracts
what the soul
is. So you have to heal your soul so you don't attract that. But do I believe that it's real and women want that power? Yes, unfortunately, but the secure woman and the woman that knows herself, that knows what she's gone through, knows her experiences, and she's not making that the responsibility of somebody else, and who desires a relationship, she's going to do what she needs to do to attract the very thing that she wants.
Listen. I like that. They got that aroma.
Aroma.
Girl, you smell like them other niggas and their problems. I'm joking.
Girl, hold on. You smell like childhood trauma.
Trauma.
Exactly.
We can't do it.
You smell like daddy issues. You smell
Right.
like you afraid.
That was so
you smell
good.
like you fear. Like, and we all whatever you go through goes through you, right? Whatever you go through goes through you. You can't deny it, but you gotta heal before you want to connect yourself to someone else. Because you're just gonna multiply it, whatever it is.
Guys, I'm gonna come clean on this one too, because I was reading this one, right? The power can involve the capacity to assert one's needs and preferences assertively without fear of retaliation or dismissal. So when I first read it, I'm like, man, like that, I really was feeling empathetic to women. I'm like, yo, that's messed up. Like, why would you deal with, what kind of dude would retaliate just because a woman is expressing herself because she wants something? And then I kept looking at it, and I'm like, what is this dismissal thing? So I looked it up, okay? The act of treating something as unworthy of serious consideration. And you know what I thought, Erica? I thought, I do that all the time.
Yeah, that's very easy
all the time.
That's very easy to do.
And I've probably got a long list of women to apologize to, because there's certain things where even my response, like even just recently, like a woman is telling me, she's like, yo, Ryan, I don't feel like you contact me enough, and I can't really, I don't really, not a fan of the every 2-day thing and that type of deal. And in my mind, it just didn't logically make sense. I just thought, I'm getting to know you. It's very unreasonable for you to expect me to call you every day. So that's pretty much what I communicate, that it was unreasonable, right? And now when I think about it, I'm like, that was me being dismissed, like doing exactly what you shouldn't do, right? Me being dismissed. Well, yes, because I say that. No, this is why I say that. I say that because I detailed that this was just unworthy for me to address, when I could have just went about it a different way. I could have said, hey, you know what? I understand you feel like that, but because of X, Y, Z, this is what I feel most comfortable with. Are you okay with that? Yeah, I just was like, yo, that's silly. Why would I call, why would I do that? And I could imagine.
Because I would think that maybe the way you said it, but what you did was you gave her reality. Let's deal with reality. Okay?
Because who I am and what I do,
I ain't gonna be calling you all day.
Okay.
I ain't gonna tell you that right now. So then when later on we get down the road in a relationship, you ain't got no business and I'm handling my business. You calling me, asking me why I ain't handling no business with you. Let me give you the reality. This is my world. Can you handle that? Because if you can't, then this relationship is not for you. I would have called that reality. But how you said it, maybe you could have been nicer.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Maybe you could have been nicer. But what you said was true. Don't set false expectations, because we're only disappointed by our own unmet and unexpressed expectations. You would have gave her a false expectation. That's what I mean when people be romanticizing. Oh, I'm on the phone with you all the time, girl. Then when you get into it, oh, what's wrong? You don't like me no more? No, I like you. I just don't got time. I'm busy. Like, this is my life. So I don't want to present a life to you that's not my life for you to love me. You need to know this is my life, so that on your 19th anniversary evening, you're not sitting at a 5-star restaurant across the table with white tablecloths. You sitting up here on the podcast and she's smiling and looking beautiful, because this is your reality. I didn't lie to you. I ain't tell you this what we gonna be doing with our life. Like, this is what this the dream. This what you bought in to. This what you said you signed up for. So this keeps a smile on your face. You don't feel awkward. You don't feel dismissed. You don't feel lied to. You don't feel bamboozled. You don't feel disrespected, because the quality of time has been put in. It is not quantity. It is quality. You've been on a trip. She brown. We coming out the winter. You see that?
She tanned up.
She tanned up. And we in the shine. We just got sun today. You know why? Because she been somewhere already. I ain't trying to make up for where she trying to be on our anniversary night. She good. She glowing. She been taken care of today. Gonna be taken care of later on today too. Okay, you know what I'm saying? She good. Shit, this don't feel
Slayer.
awkward. This don't feel awkward. This don't feel weird to her because we on a podcast. This is what we do. That's reality. That's how you keep the romance alive, Ryan. Because quit lying to people up front because you want them to like you. Tell them my life is busy. Your life, we tell our kids all the time, your life is expensive. It costs. We gonna be gone. We on trips. We write books. We help couples with that. This is what your family is about. So you either gotta know that or you don't know that. But with that, I will always give you quality of time. I will not give you quantity of time because every profession costs.
So I'm gonna just send her the clip and say, "Hey, listen to my pastor." That's it. Drop the mic.
My pastor said I can't talk to you every day. My pastor, I gotta focus on my purpose, baby.
In this season, remember, while you single, that's the season to be selfish. That's the only time you get to be selfish is when you're single. When you're single, you can be selfish. When you are in a relationship, you have to be selfless. And long as you want to stay single, long as you want to stay selfish, stay single. Don't involve nobody in your selfishness.
Okay, let's stop right there because, oh man, that's where I struggle. Because here's the thing, it's a very hard transition. Y'all making it sound real easy. It ain't. It's very hard to transition your mindset from selfish to selfless. It's a very difficult transition. It's a difference in values. It's a difference in thinking. Even the way you consider your decision making is not the same. The way I think when I'm selfish ain't even the same when I'm thinking selflessly. And I know this just because even small things, like even now, my little brother, he lives with me. So now even when I'm grocery shopping now, I'm just thinking, okay, what he might need in the house, what he like to eat.
Exactly.
I'm just even thinking about somebody. But see, when I'm fully in selfish mode, you don't even think. It's certain ways you don't even think like that.
But
so what I'm asking,
he always been your little brother. What made you start considering him right now?
The role changed.
Exactly.
The role changed.
So when that woman comes into your life and plays that role, you will be selfless. And until she comes and changes you from selfish to selfless, don't involve her in your selfishness.
Okay. So that's,
because he's always been your little brother. He's always been your little brother. But until he was a part of a partner, a contributor, a participator in purpose, then you was like, get it for yourself. Now he helping you, you helping him, you consider him. We had that conversation at lunch this afternoon. We said, yo, man, when you're married and in love, you can't even think about where you want to eat without considering the other person. Where you want to go, where you want to travel. You know what you want, but you still like where you want to go, what you want to eat, what you got a taste for. You're considerate of them. Because when that person comes in, it's not the one you just want to live with. I told y'all, it's the one you can't live without.
So do you think that I would assume that that's something that's really important then for us as people that's single and, you know, in the environment where you're looking for a long-term partner? That's a huge thing to look for now. How somebody starts to really show that selflessness in how they start making decisions. We never really talked about that in full, but that's a very gradual change that starts to happen over the span of a relationship. And sometimes it never changes, to be honest.
If it never changes, you should never be in that relationship. I'm serious. As long as you want to remain selfish, remain single. And when you want to become selfless, then you get in a relationship. Don't involve anybody in your selfishness. And it does happen gradually, but it happens through integration. That's my challenge with independence versus interdependence. That's my challenge with autonomy versus accountability. Where you been? Autonomy is, don't ask me where I've been. Accountability is where you been. Not because you can't go nowhere, because, hey, I missed you. because I was looking for you, because I was concerned. I was wondering if you was good. You can't have me be responsible for what you're not accountable for. You can't do that.
That's like,
you can't tell me I'm responsible for you, but you don't want to be accountable. That's crazy. I need to know where, it was 2,000 G's spent on the credit card. What was that for? Don't be asking me about no. Whoa, you want me to pay the bill, but you don't want me to ask you what you spent it on? You can't make me responsible for what you're not accountable for.
That's the ego too. Hey, that's the ego. Cause listen, don't no man like to be asked, especially when you coming from being single. Don't no man like to be asked where you been. What you mean where I done been? What you mean where I done been? Where you done been?
right. Yeah. Throw the question back.
That's a really
but when you in a relationship that you want to be in, she don't gotta ask where you been. You text her, I'm about to go to says I'll be home late. I'm at says I ain't got that. She ain't even asked. And she ain't checking for you because she trusts you. But because she trusts you, you give her the information that you know she need because you want her to trust her, because you building what? Credibility.
So you know what?
I love it.
Hey, check this out, y'all. I told y'all, didn't we tell y'all to stay here because we was gonna do something crazy for y'all to end? We was gonna give y'all some free game. We told y'all that we was doing a giveaway and we was gonna give away 3 signed books at the end of the show. Didn't we tell y'all that? It's getting close to the time. I mean, is it? What's the time on it now? We still got a countdown. We
getting a few minutes.
So y'all better go ahead and get in that description and fill it out now, because we are about to select the winners of this of the giveaway in just a few. So hit that link in the description and please fill it out as soon as you can.
And shout out to all the new initiates. Shout out to Crystal Myers as well for sending the super chat. NLCSE fam representing.
What up?
What's up?
She go to our church.
Yeah.
Oh,
she represented. She said Pastor Glenn was my first episode on HI. So she been rocking for at least a year.
At least. You came on about a year ago, wasn't it?
That was about a year.
Wow.
Shout out to Dub. I'm Will, man or woman. If you have a garden with someone, you got to intentionally pull out all the weeds that blatantly stunts your growth. Stunts your plant's growth. That's true. You got to pull out the weeds. Not just what you put in, is also what you put out. And shout out to JJ representing with this collection for the collection plate. She says, for the collection plate, JJ, listen.
Amen.
We take amen.
That's all you gotta
We
say.
take every single listen. JJ. All right, we need to see you. We need to see you on Wednesday too, okay? And the Monday and the Wednesday after that.
Amen.
Shout out to JJ.
Amen.
That's how the pastor do it. Jamal, how they do it at church?
That man said, amen. He's so
Big facts. Guys, listen, I've already dropped the link in there. We're about to announce the 3 giveaway winners in just a second. But Tyshawn, you was on to something, because I know we got to let this beautiful couple go, because I'm not sure how late Mr. Glenn can go. You know what I mean, tonight? So it's because I know he got to deliver the anniversary package.
He got to deliver that.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, y'all know how he got to end the night, y'all. So
You
we
alright.
can't hold him. Hey, listen, we can't hold him too long.
Right.
Because it got to go down tonight.
The man got to fulfill his purpose. You know what I mean?
Got to fulfill his God-given purpose.
But I know you was on to something, Tyshawn, when you talk about equality and partnership, okay? And I want to just give this one again. Power is experienced through cultivation of equitable partnerships where both partners share responsibilities and decision-making, fostering a sense of fairness in relationships. So I know you were saying that you think this is, well, and the audience has voted as well, this seems to be the number one way most women feel power. So, Jermone, Erica, can you chime into this? You know, what are some ways that we can come together and that men specifically can do to make sure that they're fostering an environment where their woman feels heard, she feels appreciated, she's gifted and incentivized for doing really great, and she's just treated as a queen? Like, what are some things that a brother can do to put his woman in that environment?
Man, this is so good. Thank you for this survey, because it is literally affirmation to the assignment of this book, right? Like, for real. We didn't even know that's how it's going to come out. But that equality and partnership is really about why we wrote Power Couples. 19 years married and a lifetime to go is really about us accentuating and discovering our strengths and then positioning our relationship to leverage those for an advantage. It's really about finding out who she is, who I am, what she's great at, what I'm great at, what her deepest dreams are, what her desires are, what she's trying to achieve, what I'm trying to achieve. How can I lend my strengths and gifts to her? How she lends her strengths and gifts to me. And then where we find differences, we literally use those differences as not as a disadvantage, but as an advantage in order for us to accomplish it. So that equality and partnership is really where you in that sweet spot. That's that highest level of your relationship where you flowing and functioning. Perhaps you're business owners together. Perhaps you're building and buying property together, investing together, raising your children together, functioning, writing books together, right? Doing podcasts together, where you're exploring and living your life in a realm where that equality and that partnership says, hey, I recognize, I see you, right? I see you. I see who you are. I see where you've been. I see what you're great at. I see where you've been underestimated. I see where you've been lazy. I see where you can be sharpened, can be strengthened. And I want to make sure that I am your biggest fan. I want to make sure that I'm your greatest contributor, your what you call me, your biggest investor to the new idea that you got. And I want to make sure that you feel that we are equal in dominion, but different in roles, that we're walking side by side and step by step towards something that is bigger, that our conversations and our dreams are encapsulated by a bigger idea, and that there's respect and love there, that you feel loved, not by my words, but by my actions. And I feel respect by the way that you handle and behave. When you get in that space, then you can leverage your power, not to just double yourself, but to 10 times yourself. So yes, I feel like I said early on, ladies, marry a man who is a catalyst and not a ceiling. How do you do that? You make sure that he is understanding of who he is and he's never threatened by you. And that doesn't mean that you, just because you fit a traditional gender role, but you find out who's best at what. My wife can cook some things that taste so good, that's better than what I can cook in that space, and I can cook some things that taste better than what she can cook in that space. Are we gonna fight over who's cooking, or am I gonna tell her, hey, can you make such, and I'm gonna make the and then we're gonna sit down and have a feast because I make that better and you make that better, and when we put it together, then we make the whole thing better.
And there's things that I lead better than he leads.
Yes.
And he could feel a certain kind of way because he's a phenomenal leader, but he lets me lead in that space because that's not his strength. That's not what he wants to do, and it's what I thrive in. So it's like, when you understand your giftings and you see what the difference is, don't make it be a place of contention.
No.
Let it be a place of power. You need something, in order for a power source like to get where it needs to go, where a battery needs to go. It's a plus and a minus, right? A put in and a receiver, and you need both of those things in order for power to be exuded. So don't look at your differences as something that's supposed to part the ways. Look at it as, okay, you're doing something differently than I am. How can we come together to fit in the spaces and places that I like, I don't like, you do better, I do better, and let's work together so that we can be the most powerful thing in the world.
We got too many couples that's getting divorced because of irreconcilable differences, when really your differences weren't meant to be a deficit. Your differences were meant to be a strength and advantage. I'm attracted to everything about my wife physically that's different from me. Everywhere I'm flat and she got a lump. Everywhere I got something poking out and she got something going in. Everywhere on her body that's different from mine. That difference is not a distraction, not a dissension. That difference is a power and a strength. And I think that too many people don't learn how to use and cultivate their powers to find partnership. It's the power. It's the differences of your power that you find partnership. You staff your weakness. You get with somebody that's good at what you're not good at, right? That love what you love, that values what you value, but that has a level of strength in a different area than you do. That's the advantage. And so the fact that ladies out here like, I want equality and partnership, mean that I didn't go to school all these years so I can lose my education. I didn't work this hard to save my money and become debt free to marry some buster and some guy that's threatened by my success. I didn't fight this hard all my life to be who I am, to lay it down at the feet of somebody that cannot appreciate it or tell me raise it up or respect my grind or respect my work. No, if I work this hard to be here, then I'm gonna make sure that I want to be with somebody that can identify and understand where I've been and how I had to fight to get here. And ladies, I just want to say, quit throwing good dudes away because they don't have the same thing that you have. Quit throwing good dudes. Start asking, why are you where you are? Start asking what happened. Don't just throw a good guy away because he don't got 3 degrees and you've been going to school for the last 50 years. He might be a good blue collar worker. He might be a creative, a worker with his hand. He might have a different component of his skill set than you. Quit just looking for the man that's still that look like you, that got the same thing that you got, the same qualifications that you have. No. Sometimes it's in the power of opposites attract. Ladies miss good guys because they didn't go through the same process that they went through. And guys, don't be intimidated by a woman that got her stuff lined up in a place that you don't. Love that woman, enhance, treat that woman, pull her close, and the two of y'all together can become a power couple. That's what we got.
And it is time. It is now time to announce the winners. All right. Ryan is currently pulling those names now. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do, get your last few super chats in, guys. I'm telling you, these are the last few people here that we're going to go ahead and pull up here on the show. It looks like Kimberly Moore, unselfishness comes when we surrender to Christ and make him the head of our lives and include him in our decisions and make him our first love. Big shout out to Shelia, join the team. Look, I love this couple. First time hearing them. Is it Trina Benson? Big shout out to you. And look, L. Daniel, check this out. Out of concern in my younger years, I asked one time, where are you going? She asked me, why? Replied, in case you take too long and I have to call the police to find you.
Why you
care too much? I'm smarter now. Let me tell you something, Daniel.
Another one.
Okay? And just in case you didn't hear it.
Another one.
And just in case you missed the last two.
Another one.
All right? Hey, dust that one off, player. Dust that one off. Don't let it stay on you too long because you're going to have that aroma. And you don't want that aroma.
You don't want that aroma.
You don't want that aroma, okay?
We need a sound for that aroma, too.
Yeah, we need an aroma sound now. We're going to get y'all. Look, y'all bringing new sounds to the platform. And then we got Yali here. I truly love when you have healthy married couples here. There are too many people with negative outlook on marriage sharing toxic ideologies online. Ain't it the damn truth? You can smell them through you can smell them through your phones. Can't you?
The aroma.
You can smell the aroma. Just ratchet.
You got one more, right?
No, that's it.
What about this?
Matter of fact, all the queens. I almost forgot you, queen. I love this message. We need to empower each other rather than surrender to our own egos. I ain't mad at you. That's a fact.
Yeah, we can never have Tyshawn read the super chats again. What about this one? You read that one?
Oh, I definitely read that one, man. Big shout out. I love this couple. First time hearing them, and it won't be your last because this is a powerful couple. Man, let me tell you, I'm going to give y'all flowers. 19 years in the game, in the trenches, really doing this work, really living this life, and really putting out gospel that can help people reach year 19 just like you guys. Big shout out to the Glens on Hardly Initiated today. And I ain't got my drum roll sound. But Ryan, we got these 3 people that about to get these books.
Absolutely. I got the 3 giveaway winners right now. And we got some ambiguous names in here too. Because we got Tyre Underwood.
Nice.
I'm going to drop that in the chat. Tyre Underwood.
Or
Tyree. It's probably Tyree.
Probably
Tyree Underwood.
I told you, Reading Rain. We got to get the Reading Rainbow sound for Ryan. It's coming soon.
We got Leslie Goodman. Okay. And we got Brenda McGee. So I'm going to drop all 3 of these in the chat. And you guys are going to receive a signed copy of both Jermone and Erica Glenn's book, Power Couple. We ready?
Congratulations.
Yep. Pull that up. What's the subtitle in that Power Couples?
Making your differences work for your marriage.
And first of all, listen, y'all, only 3 people got this book tonight. If y'all got it, y'all very lucky. Y'all very blessed. But please, y'all, do not let that stop you that you didn't get a free book to not get this game. I know that we had a very high-level conversation about this topic, but listen, it's in the details, y'all. All right? They going into the nuances in this. It's not a long read. I think this one here is only 7 chapters, right?
Yeah, it's a quick read.
It's a
Power
quick
Nuggets.
read.
It's interactive. It got scan codes and links in it where it takes you to deeper thoughts and takes you on a journey to explore, makes you ask questions of yourself, questions of your spouse, think reflectively. Even if you're not married yet,
It still is good for you.
it still tell you what to look for, tell you what to want, how to leverage your power, and how to be in a relationship with a powerful person so that you can be a power couple. So good. It's hot off the press. We releasing it today.
I love that.
It's releasing today right here on Harley Initiated. We didn't even tell nobody we was working on it. There it is.
That's a fact.
To your audience, especially your audience, they can get it. I think you got this. You got the scan code, and I think you maybe got a lower third that tell them where they can get it from. I'm sure you'll put the link in.
The link is in the description, y'all. So y'all know where to get that thing, man. Y'all know where to get it. So you guys can go ahead and get that thing right there in the bottom. Ryan, what you got for them?
Shout out to El Danielle and shout out to all the winners. I actually just posted it up. Giveaway winners, Tyree, Leslie, Brenda. We love y'all. Thanks so much for participating in tonight's giveaway. And I'm going to be emailing you tomorrow to make sure I get the proper shipping address so we can make sure we get this out to you as soon as possible. Just don't forget. We got you to give. All we need for you to do is give us a photo with you in the gift just because we want to show people that we actually deliver on the things that we say we're going to deliver on for credibility purposes, like my man, Mr. Glenn said. So that's all I got.
Guys, listen, Jermone, Glenn, and Erica, is there anything that you guys want to let the audience know? Any final thoughts on your mind or your hearts before you guys get up out of here?
Nah, I think we said it all, left it all on the table. We appreciate y'all. Y'all keep rocking. We so proud of y'all. Watching y'all grow, watching y'all build has been a journey. Thank you for being so consistent, always reaching out, always staying connected. Thank you for having us on your platform and sharing with your incredible audience. We hope that we gave some nuggets today. We're not perfect, but we live on purpose. And we hope that we gave you something today that can help all the people have a great, healthy relationship. We're about making sure in the kingdom that, man, people have healthy relationships, particularly for Black and brown people. Exactly. The family is the nucleus, is still the dynamic, is still the place where dreams are birthed, where millionaires are made, where achievements happen. Exactly. And so we're all about strengthening the family. Follow us on social. I think they put our connects there. Follow us on YouTube. We do a Marriage Monday. We do Wisdom Wednesday. You can find us. We have a podcast on all podcast streaming platforms called Marriage Monday. You can listen to it. Just connect with us, y'all. Thanks for connecting with us. Thanks for following. Thanks for all the interaction and all the comments. Please, most importantly, get this book. All right, we dropped it today. It's being delivered to you by next week, and we are so excited about you getting this information. And when you get it, take a picture, like you said, tag us, tell us about it, stay connected to us. We shared our anniversary with you. And so this has been a joy. This has been a great anniversary celebration.
Drop that happy. Listen, guys, we got to celebrate it. Go ahead and drop the happy anniversary in the chat. That's how we logging off today. We need that.
That's how we getting up out of here, y'all. Listen, make sure y'all in here again. You know, Monday night. Listen, thank you so much for going ahead and popping off the week like this. Okay, with this beautiful, healthy conversation.
Sorry.
Y'all see it going down the chat. It's going crazy. It's going Slayer. Let me tell y'all something. We're gonna let y'all get to it. The marriage bed is undefiled. So we're gonna let y'all get to that bed real quick. All right. What I want to let y'all know is I want to talk to the audience real quick because guys, this Wednesday we having a very powerful sister come on the show. We got Tiffany Montgomery joining us. And when I tell you that sister is about to light this show up, I'm very scared about what's gonna happen to the show. Hopefully, Harley Initiated makes it past Wednesday because Tiffany is not about to hold back. So y'all better be here Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We have a very powerful conversation prepared for you guys. I need everybody, please don't leave here without liking or subscribing. Y'all always ask how to contribute to the platform, and just know you can contribute to the platform any way possible. We have it here. These are the number one ways, since y'all always asked us. We made sure we put it right here for you guys. It's in the description as well. We absolutely love all of you guys, all of the subscribers, even the unsubscribers. We love you guys too for supporting this channel.
Right.
Even the unsubscribers.
Well, because we know they're going to come back. Sometimes the message is a little bit too heavy for them, but we know they're going to come back.
It ain't always supposed to feel good, all right? But it is what it is. We're going to always do our best to bring you the truth in the best, most powerful fashion that we can possibly produce it in, guys. And look, listen, just want to let you know we love you. Y'all already know how we do it. Hardly initiated. We are out.